fought the fight, breaking down the walls in the dead of night. I don't come for peace, I come for the storm. Fanboys melt quick when the truth gets warm. Solve content's high, I'm collecting those tears. Just got started, but I'm cutting through fears. I'm not here for brand deals, I'm not for sale. I expose your lies, rip off the veil. You can cry in the comments, but you won't survive. Like and subscribe if you feel that vibe. We're hot and salty tears, tearing down the walls. Fanboys falling fast, hear the vigilantes calls. No fake reviews, no corporate lies, just truth and fire burning in our eyes. Promise lost in Nintendo's dream, delusional faith blinded by the gleam. Defends every flaw like it's a sacred cause, but his blind devotion's just breaking laws. Player SS brings no honor or pride, throws family shade when he's running to hide. No integrity, just bitterness and spite, but the vigilante's here to set it right. We're hot and salty tears, tearing down the walls. Fanboys falling fast, hear the vigilante's calls. No fake reviews, no corporate lies, just truth and fire burning in our eyes. Cast guys, fake words can't hold the line. Sony fanboys smoke, but his reviews don't shine. Switch for shields, the corporate game, selling hype and spin while we call out the shame. Dark trays and Nintendo fanboys stuck on repeat, says the same old lines like a broken beat. Recycling words, no fresh insight, but we break through the noise and bring the fight. We're hot and salty tears, tearing down the walls. Fanboys falling fast, hear the vigilante's calls. No fake reviews, no corporate lies, just truth and fire burning in our eyes. If you're tired of fake, if you're done with the spin, join the fight, let the real talk begin. We're here for the truth, no need to hide, so make sure to like and subscribe. I'm the angry vigilante here to fight the fight, breaking down the walls in the dead of night. I don't come for peace, I come for the storm. Fanboys melt quick when the truth gets warm. Solve content's high, I'm collecting those tears. Just got started, but I'm cutting through fears. I'm not here for brand deals, I'm not for sale. I expose your lies, rip off the veil. You can cry in the comments, but you won't survive. Like and subscribe if you feel that vibe. We're hot and salty tears, tearing down the walls. Fanboys falling fast, hear the vigilante's calls. No fake reviews, no corporate lies, just truth and fire burning in our eyes. Promise lost in Nintendo's dream, delusional faith blinded by the gleam. Defends every flaw like it's a sacred cause, but his blind devotion's just breaking laws. Player SS brings no honor or pride, throws family shade when he's running to hide. No integrity, just bitterness and spite, but the vigilante's here to set it right. We're hot and salty tears, tearing down the walls. Fanboys falling fast, hear the vigilante's calls. No fake reviews, no corporate lies, just truth and fire burning in our eyes. Cast guys, fake words can't hold the line. Sony fanboys smoke, but his reviews don't shine. Switch for shields, the corporate game, selling hype and spin while we call out the shame. Dark trays and Nintendo fanboys stuck on repeat, says the same old lines like a broken beat. Recycling words, no fresh insight, but we break through the noise and bring the fight. We're hot and salty tears, tearing down the walls. Fanboys falling fast, hear the vigilante's calls. No fake reviews, no corporate lies, just truth and fire burning in our eyes. If you're tired of fake, if you're done with the spin, join the fight, let the real talk begin. We're here for the truth, no need to hide, so make sure to like and subscribe.
Hello, everybody. How is it going on this fine, salty Monday morning? We got Rose Check first. Yep, you are. We got Smash Monkey 304. Let me guess, crying about Nintendo shitty November. Oh, there's probably somebody. Wouldn't be surprised. Yep. And then Andy Schmidt. Love these songs. I sometimes listen to them at work. I'm so happy, man. Thank you so much for listening to them. So yeah, I got quite a good morning planned for you guys. Of course, we got to get the regulars like good old Player Essence and Nuki Nintendo. That's who we're going to start with first because I got called out in Nuki's last video. We got True Dosh Fan. How are you, ABS? I'm doing great. How are you? I had an amazing night. Alrighty, where is Nuki's video? Yep, Nukem Nintendo decided to call me out because he is trying to convince people that it is a good idea. There it is. That it is a good idea to go double dip on games. He wants people to buy a physical and he wants people to sit here and buy a digital copy. So let's see.
All right, guys.
Nope. Copy that. There we go.
All right, guys. How is it going today? I hope you are all doing well.
Could be
today,
better.
I am going to continue to talk about buying your games physically and digitally. This is a video that I uploaded yesterday. You guys should definitely check that out. Now, I want to do this video.
Yeah, the one that he uploaded before this was 5 good reasons on why you should buy a physical and digital. He's trying to get you to buy both of them. Omega Chase, I can actually see one of these for once. How's it going there, Omega Chase? It is good to have you here this morning. But yeah, he actually wants you to buy a physical game and a digital game. Both. Double dip because he's so desperate for Nintendo's games. He wants to influence the numbers. He wants to inflate their numbers so badly. That's how desperate he is for Nintendo to be on top.
Video again, just for the simple reason that I was winded and out of breath yesterday when I was making that video. And so it's kind of hard for me to deliver the message.
Just as shitty as you did before.
I actually have just one more thing that I forgot to mention in that video. So without further ado, let me just explain 5 or 6 reasons why you should not only just buy certain games physically, but you should get them digitally as well. Basically,
see, there's only one reason I will ever sit here and accept why you should buy a game physical and one digital. For instance, if you want to buy a physical game, whether it's a special edition or the base game, you want to keep it sealed so you can keep it on the shelf. One day it could be worth some money. You never know. The original base Halo game, you know how much that game is worth if you have a sealed copy? So yeah, it could be worth some money. But he isn't advocating for like that. He just wants you to double dip so he can get people to inflate the sale numbers for the games. And exactly, they're player negative. How stupid are these guys? They're very stupid. All these fanboys are just a bunch of crybabies. You can't have an option without getting a tech, or an opinion without getting a tech. Exactly.
You just double dip. So
we all know
games
Nuki
that are
likes
like
to attack
perfect
people.
to revisit. Games like Super Smash Bros. The best and most recent example being Kirby Air Riders. Games that are super fun. Always good to revisit. They have lots of content in them. It's good to have those games.
Is that you, man? I am ashamed. You should be ashamed of yourself.
Physically and digitally for the sake of preserving your physical copy. So a lot of people like to.
You don't need to buy a digital game to preserve the physical copy. How about you just buy it digital? I mean, every single reason you come up with, because I've seen this video, you might as well just buy a digital copy. Just that's it. You don't need to buy both of them.
To go traveling, right? And they like to take their Nintendo Switch console with them, their Switch or Switch 2. And there has been a video very recently by Kit and Krista, the Kit and Krista podcast, or Kit and Krista show, Kit and Krista show, and Kit.
Oh, okay, that's Kit and Krista. I thought that was you for a second because I'm like, that voice does not match that face. But the girl did look familiar.
You know, these were people who used to be on the Nintendo Minute or whatever when they used to work for Nintendo. Kid had told a story or something about losing some physical games, some Switch 2 physical games just recently, because they went traveling to Japan, I believe, and
can he get on with it already?
When he came back, he realized that I think he was either missing a case that had physical games in it, so he probably lost, a handful of games, maybe 4 physical.
Well, that's why you got to be more careful with your physical games. I've gone on trips before with my physical games, and I've never once lost any of them. But I did lose my Nintendo Switch, my first one. I left it at a hotel room, but technically did have a game in it. And then when I called back the hotel, they were like, "Oh, we can't find it." I'm like, "Oh, of course you can't."
Games, right? And you gotta imagine that's a lot. That's a lot of money wasted right there.
That's why, if you're worried about losing your physical games, just buy a digital. There's no point, absolutely none. Like I said, unless you want to keep a sealed copy, hopefully it goes up in value. That's the only reason. You might as well just buy a digital copy, and that's it. Just get a digital. If you're so afraid of losing your physical copies, just buy digital. There's no reason to try to get people to inflate these numbers higher than what they need to be. And just like Omega Chase said, what, the scalpers didn't inflate the sales numbers enough? Obviously not. He's trying to get them inflated even more.
Probably like $280 worth of games he lost, assuming they're all big AAA games. Here's the thing: if he would have downloaded those games digitally as well,
I mean, Kirby
so
Air
he
Riders
could just
is not
play
a
them
AAA
on
game.
the go on his Nintendo Switch without having to bring his physical cartridges with him, then
that's why you just buy digital.
He would have lost his physical games, and he wouldn't have to be buying them again. So now you think, okay, well, I mean, either way, you're still paying for the game twice. Yeah, but
that's why you just should buy it a digital. That's it. There's no need to buy it physical. Do you understand there, Nuki? Come on, I see through the bullshit you're trying to do. You're not trying to sit here and be like, "Oh, we'll just buy them too in case you lose them or anything." No, you want to inflate the numbers. Be honest.
Like, there's no benefit to you buying the game again because you lost it the first time. Whereas if you had bought the game again digitally, then you wouldn't have lost your physical copies because there's no need to bring your physical.
Or you just buy a digital to begin with. If you're that afraid of buying it or losing a physical copy, you might as well just buy a digital. Never stopped anybody else. This makes no sense. Oh, buy them both.
Copies with you. Like I stated in the last video, you have those games digitally. You don't need to bring your physical copies, and they actually
If you just have it digitally, you don't need to buy it physically. The only point, like I said, the only point of buying it physical is if you plan on never opening it, hopefully it goes up in value. But if you're going to buy them both, there's absolutely no point to play the physical copy then.
Better when they are downloaded digitally to your internal storage. So that would be my other point. My second point to the video is the fact that games do run better when they are downloaded to your console, your internal.
My guy, you got to fix that damn mic. That is a terrible ass mic. I don't know where the hell you're at, but we can hear like some reverb going on. But yes, digital games do run better. That actually is true. That cartridge, the read times are not fast enough to run the games properly. When I played Age of Imprisonment and when I played Metroid Prime 4 Beyond, the load times were very slow. Now, they're not as bad, like I said before in the video, they're not as bad as the PS2. Okay, if anybody remembers the PS2 era, those load times were ridiculous. If you remember playing Madden, or if you remember playing Blitz the League, oh, those load times were horrible. Those were unacceptable. Now, the Switch 2 games are not that bad, but they do take longer than what it would if you would have played it on a PC or a PS5.
Storage, right? Not so much if they're downloaded to an SD card, but when they're downloaded to your internal storage, they run better than they do when they're on a cartridge.
Oh, that's very true there, Nuki. But Raymond YouTube 1 actually has a very good point. If you're afraid of losing your physical copy, just use the Nintendo Switch cartridge dumper. And like I said, back up your physical copy onto your PC. There you go. That's problem solved right there. You don't have to sit here, go spend another $70 to go and buy another copy of the game. You can just back your game up. That's the whole reason why you should be backing up your games there, Nuki. Bet you didn't think of that idea, but let me guess, that doesn't benefit Nintendo now, does it?
So there's two reasons already right there, is the fact that they're going to run better digitally when they're downloaded to your internal storage, and
That's why you should
the
get
fact
digital over
that you
physical,
don't have
yes.
to worry about losing your games when you go traveling, because
That's why you should
already
back them up.
you have them downloaded there digitally, so you could just keep the physical copy at home. Now, this brings me to a new point that I didn't mention in the last video.
Yeah, let's hear it.
It's better to have a game digitally as well, so that way you can play with friends who don't have that game. So if a friend comes over, a girlfriend comes over,
That's why you should just get a digital to begin with. Nuki, you're not making a good point to sit here and have a physical and a digital. You're not making good points. All these points so far is just advocating to go all digital. That's all your points are making.
some family members come over and they bring their Nintendo Switch console with them, whether it be the Switch 1 or the Switch 2.
You gotta do something
Now-
about that mic, my guy.
Since you have the game digitally, you could just quickly lend them your physical copy, so they could just, boot that up into their own Nintendo Switch, and they could start playing that game with you in
Or you can tell your friend just to go buy another damn copy of the game himself. No need for you to own two just to give to a friend. I mean, come on here.
multiplayer. So for
And don't most of the Nintendo's games have the game sharing feature anyways, where you could share it with a friend anyways, like the digital copy? I could be wrong, but I'm pretty certain they already have that.
example, if you got Kirby Air Riders digitally and physically as well, but they don't have the game, you could just lend them your cartridge. You already have the game downloaded digitally on your system, and there you go. You guys are able to play the game together. That's another great benefit to.
Like I said, I'm pretty positive that you can just easily get a digital copy and do a game sharing feature. I don't know. Here, let me look it up. Okay, here, let me pull out my trusty phone real quick. Where is it? Let me pull out my trusty phone. Okay, does Kirby Air Riders have game share feature? Yes, Kirby Air Riders supports Nintendo's game share feature on the Nintendo Switch 2, allowing you to play local multiplayer with a friend who don't own the game, using game chat to connect and share the experience on a single console with up to 4 players or across multiple systems via local wireless or LAN. So yes, you don't even need to have the physical copy to lend them. You can just do the game share feature. And if you're going to go online, that means you already have to pay for online to play with them anyways.
Getting the games, both physically and digitally. So
You see how
some
easy
people
it
were
is?
trying to argue, some moron who doesn't like my YouTube channel, but he still talks
Oh.
about me on his YouTube channel. He was using that as an argument. Oh,
Well, remember, Nuki, you came at me first, okay? Don't start nothing, won't be nothing.
you only named reasons to get the games digitally, but not to get them both physically and digitally. Even though, getting the game digitally will help you not lose the game physically when you go.
Just get a digital then, or back up your physical, like Raven YouTube once said. And let's have some context. I decided to be a good sport, and I messaged him on his last one. So let me take a look right here. Let's see. Okay, I'm not gonna. Let's see if I can pull it up on screen here. Alrighty, where is his other video? It's the stupid 5 reasons. Let's see if he did. No, he did not. Okay. So let's copy that. Where is it at here? Copy this. Go into this. Hold on real quick so I can show you guys.
When you go and you travel,
Here
when
we
you go camping, when you do things like that, and you bring your Nintendo Switch 2 console with you.
So this is the one that he did before. Oh, it's not going to let me show it. Dang it. Okay, well, I'm sorry, guys. I cannot show it because for some reason it will not let me. So if you go on his other video where it says the 5 reasons to get it, I left a comment saying there's no point in buying the game twice. You are really that desperate. You really want people to inflate those numbers so bad to the point where you want to influence to buy the game twice. He got all pissy about it and was like, I literally gave 5 good points, dumbass. And I was very specific on which games to do this with. I'm pretty sure you didn't even watch the video before commenting. Well, I did actually. And I said, I did watch the video. Those reasons are good to buy a digital. There is no reason to buy 2 copies. Are you doing this? Or I said, are you doing is trying, or are, okay, I miss, I have grammar problems, but all you're doing is trying to get people to help Nintendo inflate software sales because you're so desperate for your piece of plastic to stay on top. And there's no need for this language, sir. I understand that you're still butthurt after how many times I destroyed you by now, but won't remember something. Don't start nothing, won't be nothing. Then he got all mad that I made a diss track. He was like, yeah, making a diss track about people who didn't care to bother watching them isn't destroying anyone. I'm pretty positive he watched it. I also talk about how getting the game digital will help minimize the risk of losing your physical games, but you are too stupid to think that is not a benefit to owning the game physically as well. And I just said you should just buy it digital then. There's no need to buy it physical and digital. And I told him it was a very good song. And like I said, don't start nothing, won't be nothing. So pretty much we went back and forth a little bit on there. Now let's go back to the video. Okay. Sorry about that one, guys. But yeah, if you go check out that video, you'll see that it does.
All right, guys, how is it going today? I hope you are all doing well. Today, I am going to continue to talk about buying your games physically and digitally. This is a video that I uploaded yesterday. You guys should definitely check that out. Now, I want to do this video again just for the simple reason that
we do not need to hear your ass that much. Alrighty. There we go.
At that point, you know, I'm pretty much talking about getting you only named reasons to get the games digitally, but not pretty to get them both physically and digitally. Even though, you know, getting the game digitally will help you not lose the game physically when you go traveling.
You can just buy a digital, like I said, idiot.
So, you know, that's basically, I mean, it's at that point, you know, I'm pretty much talking about getting them both, right? Physically and digitally.
Yes, I already accept that you're trying to get them both because what you want to do is inflate Nintendo sales numbers. That's what you're doing.
Because people do like to collect the games, you know, physically. They like having that physical collection. So getting the game digitally also will ensure that you don't lose those games. And
yes, people do like to have it physical. But then there's no point in even opening up the physical game to begin with if you're going to buy a digital.
Again, it's not to get every single game. Not to get, you don't have to double dip with every game. It's just the ones that are so fun, you can always revisit them and play them again. And I think
I mean, you have yet to really show any example. Kirby Air Riders is not one of those examples.
Examples would be Kirby Air Riders, Splatoon 3, Donkey Kong Bonanza, and Super Smash Bros.
Okay, Smash Bros. You named 3. Kirby Air Riders is not a part of the conversation, no matter how much you want it to be.
Those would be like the best examples. Those are games that are so fun, you can always revisit them again. So why not have digital versions as well that you can always play? And then, you know, whatever game is probably fun to play through one time or whatever, you could just have that cartridge in the console at all times, right? Like a Metroid Prime 4 would be a perfect example of a game.
Well, Metroid Prime 4 is not a perfect example. Unfortunately, that game is not worth replaying a second time. Not going to happen. Okay, I am done with this video. So let's sit here and cancel that one out. Let's read some of the members of the chat let's read some of these chats before I get into the next one. Okay, let's go up here. Let's start with Omega Chase 1002. Well, that's the C-Source Piplup. There I am, Gary. There I am to Hyperstage Cage. Player Negative. Anyone ever talk about how your avatar kind of looks like the Predator alien? Well, the hair part, that it was inspired by the Predator. My avatar is inspired from like the Predator and Marvel Comics. That's what it is inspired by. We got Power Mad UK. Let's go. Oh, that was to Omega Chase. Hey, Angry Vigilante, you doing anything for the Christmas day with family? Yep, me and my wife are going to spend time with families. Happy holiday, brother. Happy holiday to you too there, Mario. Alrighty. Who is going to bring their Switch to a camping trip? You enjoy a camping trip to enjoy nature. That's just stupid. If it was a Nintendo DS, I can understand you because you could use it as a camera. I forgot you could use a Nintendo DS as a camera there, Player Negative. Andy Schmidt, I agree. You go camping to get away from it all, not to bring it with you. Very true. He sure seems obsessed with you for a guy claiming to not care about you. Oh, he does, Omega Chase, but I did comment on his last video. He just got all up in his tizzy about it. Dragon Knight Dragonborn. Brain still in waking up phase. What did I miss? Oh, pretty much just Nuki Nintendo making himself look like an idiot as usual. Ain't nothing new. 3 days left till Christmas. Very true there, Warshak. He sounds like he's reading off a script. I know everyone reads a script, but you're not supposed to sound like it. Yeah, true. He is new, so I'll cut him some slack. When I was first reading off scripts, I was terrible too. Let's just hope he's getting better. One thing is he needs to work on that mic. That mic is terrible. I don't know if it's his mic or phone or what he's using, but you could hear so much reverb coming through. It was bad. Exactly, Andy Schmidt. Love how a channel with 3.6 thousand subs gets under these fanboy skins so much. Oh, you know it, Mario. I'm getting under Primey and Player Essence skin, even though they won't show it. Well, Primey shows it. I'm changing his name to Dookie. You should do that because he's full of crap. Oh, yes, he is. Buddy thinks he can beef with anybody when nobody's even heard of his sorry ass. I need this Nintendo to be so... I don't know what. Oh, so for real. I agree there, Omega Chase. I bet you he saw the review and got butthurt. Oh, you know he saw that review and got butthurt. So also, but the DLC for the games again, Dookie, are you dumb? Exactly. Buy the DLC. Yes, by where the DLC came in. How are you, AB? I'm doing good there, Paramat. Thank you. How are you, man? What up? That guy doesn't make any sense. No, he does not, Camero. And thank you guys so much for being members. I like your avatar too. It's like a mix of Predator and Upgrade from Ben 10 because of the eye. Looks cool, Vigilante. Thank you. I don't know who Ben 10 is, but I have to look that one up. I bring a fishing pole if I went camping. Well, you should. Honestly, I'm going to feel so bad for the children that asked for a brick for Christmas. Okay. C-Star, that C-Star people, that might have been a little too much there. We don't need to wish that upon children to get bricks here. Alrighty, let's get into the next video. Because we got some player essence and we got some switch force and we got good old Harmon Smith. It would not be a salty Monday morning without a Harmon Smith. Alrighty, there it is. We go to the gaming browser and here we go. Yep, so far we got good old player essence.
And so I need to, until we have to. We don't do it purposefully. We're not one of them drama channels where we just intentionally try to start stuff, you know, like, you didn't like the Steam Deck. I know you didn't. You did.
My guy, you started it with Nintendo and Omniarch. You can't sit here and try to act like, oh, because I don't know why I clipped it out, but someone said, hey, you should go start stuff and everything. He's trying to pretend like he's any different than the rest of us. You start crap too, so don't stop the cap.
Didn't like it, I can tell. You damn Nintendo bananas. Like, we're not going to do stuff like that. Like weirdos. We're not going to act all weird and, you know.
My guy, you act all weird all the damn time. Don't act like you're any different. Again, you went after Nintendo and you went after Omniarch. Stop acting like you're something more than what you're not.
Fake tough guy. All right. We ain't doing all that. So we're not starting any beef in that type of way. You know,
he's
we're not
lying to you
that.
guys.
Nintendo doesn't start drama with other content creators. He's
Very
just a
true.
grifter that's like lost a lot of his fan base after he got smoked with the Nintendo Switch 2.
No, he didn't lose a lot of his fan base. He's still growing. He's still getting views. What the hell are you talking about? Again, you have no idea what you're talking about when it comes to him.
Sales. So I ain't even mentioned that dude in like weeks, right? So yeah, at this point everybody saw through his gimmick, and now he just has a bunch of
Now, this video was earlier last week, but I'm pretty positive that you said something about him the week before. You always say something about him.
Haters that just watch his vids. Like, it's funny. It's kind of sad and it's funny because he was really banking on the Switch 2 flopping, and the Switch 2 is going to actually... Listen, I don't have the numbers right now. I'm trying to just get some...
He never once ever said the thing was going to flop. He's saying it's flopping for the holiday. And if it wasn't for that price cut, actually, I don't even think he said it was flopping for the holiday. If it wasn't for that price cut, the damn system wouldn't even done that well for the holiday.
You know, get some ideas from some of my friends that work in retail. But from what I'm hearing, the Switch 2 sold incredibly good over the holiday break. I mean, as did PS5.
I actually agree with that. Most of us are not saying that it didn't sell. Like, what you're doing is you're twisting what we're saying and removing the context. It wouldn't have sold that well without a discount. That's what you're forgetting.
Or over the holiday right now, Switch 2 is doing incredible.
Well, I would hope so. It got dropped down to $400. It should be doing well. And it's their launch holiday. But what you're forgetting to mention is without those discounts, it wouldn't have sold that well. It's only selling well because of the discount.
You know, it's doing big numbers in Japan. Europe is not the best, but not terrible. And in the US, it's doing pretty good. So the numbers are going to be pretty good. The system's going to sell. So, I mean, I think you said it was going to be around the Wii U or GameCube levels. So I think after getting smoked like that, I mean, there ain't really no.
No, he's not getting smoked. He is completely correct. He's not the only one saying it. Player Essence, did you even do any research before you opened your mouth up? Nintendo Prime was saying that November was the worst in so many years. I forgot however long. Many people were saying that. Your homie, it was RGT85 was saying it. We're all been saying it. It was like the worst selling November since like 1990 something. So yes, that means it's so worse in the Wii U era.
Nothing much to say. The only people that are going to be actually riding with you are complete morons or haters, right? It ain't going to be anybody logical. Because this dude was sitting there making videos for months talking about how the system's not selling, and then it literally became the fastest selling system of all time.
Became the fastest selling console of all time. And it needed a price cut. And I noticed you never once ever say why that sells so well in Japan.
That's a fraud in my book. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's a fraud in my book because he was actually acting like it was proof. Like there was actual real evidence, and he'd sit there in his crusty ass room doing that for how long? And then,
my guy, with that crusty ass hairline, you got no room in talking about anything being crusty.
And he made an 1.5-hour damage control video. That just, to me, is just, I've never said.
Who cares if he made an 1.5 hour long video? I guarantee you that video got more views than what your channel's getting.
I've never seen that in my life. I've never seen a Nintendo content creator or a person talk about Nintendo that makes not a live stream, but a 1.5 hour damage control cope session that lost any respect that he had from anybody objective. It's just haters now.
No, I'm not a hater and I have respect for him. Your respect means absolutely nothing because you're not even objective. You're just mad that you can't capitalize on it and you're jealous that you're not getting the views he is.
After that video, there ain't no coming back from that. He should be embarrassed. I can see why he doesn't show his face. I'd be embarrassed if I was him. I would be absolutely embarrassed. Like, it's not that big of a deal, you know, for Nintendo. It ain't that big of a deal. He's too scared to talk to other content creators.
You're not worth his time. Why should he talk with you?
He's too scared to just truly admit that the system did way better and he can't, like...
He's already admitted that the thing has sold well. Maybe you should actually watch his videos and then you'll know what he's talking about. Because either you are getting triggered over a thumbnail and a title, or you got a Sparks Note version from one of your elite ninjas who loves to take people out of context.
He's a fraud, complete fraud. So I don't think anybody cares anymore when it comes to him. So that's funny.
I mean, you obviously care because you keep talking about him. And your subscribers and community care because they keep bringing them up. If they didn't care or you didn't care, you guys wouldn't be talking about them.
But yeah, there ain't really no reason to start any beefs or anything like that, you know?
My guy, you're saying that there's no reason to start any beefs, but then you sit here and literally just crap on him, which you started this whole thing with him. He didn't talk about you first. You talked about him. How could you say, oh, there's no reason to start any beef with anybody, but right before that, you just completely shit on Nintendo? How does that make any sense?
Let's see, he moved on to Nintendo doing bad at the Game Awards. They had more awards than Sony. That was the funniest thing.
One award. One award. Let's not act like Nintendo got a lot of awards here. Come on.
They had more awards than Sony did. Sony had 19 nominations, and they won 0 actual Game Awards outside of the movie for The Last of Us.
Okay, so then they won 1 award. Okay, let's not be disingenuous. They won 1 award. Quit moving the goalposts. It's a part of the Game Awards, whether you want to admit it or not.
But none of the Sony nominated games won anything. They had 19 nominations. Nintendo had like 3, yet they won 2 awards. So yeah, I don't know how Nintendo did.
I mean, you can be happy all you want, but it's not like Nintendo earned those awards. Those were participation awards, if anything.
Bad at the Game Awards. They won 2 awards, which is pretty good, you know. Clear Obscure won.
No, that's not good. You won 2 awards that are participation awards. Donkey Kong Bonanza is not a family game. If anything, Lego Party should have won. And Sonic Racing Crossroad is a far better game than Mario Kart World.
Everything, so yeah. And Nintendo won 2, so that's not bad. Microsoft won a few too, so but Sony won. When it comes to games, they won 0.
No, they still won 1. It was a game adaptation. Game is in there. You're just moving the goalposts. It's a part of the Game Awards.
So yeah.
Why you gotta turn off that crappy
so, like
music?
I said, fraud. Like I said, it's just grifting now at this point. He's just a grifting fraud. So yeah.
I think you got yourself confused. You're the one that's the grifter.
Even if something does flop, it's got overall still bad for these grifters. Once said it flops, that's it. No long-term thinking. Doesn't seem like it's a great job plan. Yeah, like I said, that's why they grift. That's why they don't talk to anybody else. They just grift on their channel for money. So yeah.
There's no reason. It's not like Nintendo is making content like I do. Okay, and then sitting here blasting you and then you challenge him. He didn't even come at any of you guys. And then you guys get all mad when we make content out of you guys and then you guys go and do the exact same thing. Player Essence, you're a coward.
Let's see here. Everyone who isn't Clear Obscure devs did bad at the game. Exactly, that's what I'm saying. Like Clear Obscure won everything. So like I said, Nintendo was barely nominated for anything. They were nominated for 3 different categories in terms of like, and if you want to count Hades, I mean, you can count Hades. That's a console exclusive, but we don't have to count Hades. They were nominated for three different things. They won 2 of them.
Congratulations. You won 2 participation awards that you didn't really earn. You want to gloat some more about it? Nobody really cares.
Best racing game, best family game, and they had 1 nomination for Game of the Year. You know, so I mean, they won 2. They won 2 out of 3.
No, Omega, he didn't. He made this almost a week ago.
Let's see here. His views have pretty much dried up with the exception of vids like Mario Kart World being booed at TGAs, which you know Sonic fans were watching. Oh yeah, which it wasn't even really booed. That's the funny thing. It wasn't.
It was booed. You're full of shit. Stop acting like it wasn't. Stop trying to downplay it. It was booed. And yes, he's not getting as much views as before. No one stays on top getting all those views, but guess what? He's still getting far more views than you are, Player Essence. You can go back on his least viewed video in like the last 2 months, which was the Wolverine one, that he got like a little over 7,000 views. Still more than what most of your videos are getting.
Even really, if you
he doesn't have to beg people to go watch his videos. He doesn't have to beg on live streams to get people to watch his video. You do.
Get extra alternate videos, so that's the funny thing. But yeah, that's how you know it's kind of bottom of the barrel now. It's just kind of say anything to get your grift audience, you know. Like I said, he has a mental issue though. I'm pretty sure he has a mental problem because like I said, an hour and like I don't even care about all the other stuff. An hour and a half damage control video, coping and seething and making excuses why the system is doing well, while you got blown out of your own original production.
I mean, in that hour and a half, he predicted so much that was going to happen. He predicted there was going to be a price cut. He predicted that the hype was going to die out. Come to find out, he was true. So you can sit here and claim that it's a mental thing all you want. Guess what, Player Essence? You're the one that looking stupid. His video, a lot of that stuff was right. Maybe you should have actually watched it. Then you would have actually learned something for once.
Prediction and all that, like trying to make excuses. That's hilarious, man. That to me is funny. That right there lost all credibility. You know, I mean, I knew that he lost all credibility when he was too scared to talk to me. Anybody that's too scared to talk to another content creator about video games, about what you talk about on your channel all the time, that's a fraud. Don't.
So then you're a fraud. If I remember correctly, you challenged DBZ Nation to a debate on your live stream. He accepted, sent over topics. He emailed you topics like you asked him to do that he wanted to go over. And instead of you picking the topics, because, you know, in my opinion, if you challenge someone to a debate, you should pick the topics, not the other person. But you wanted him to pick them. He picked them. You didn't even give him a chance to change them. You quickly banned him, called him a grifter and a clout chaser, which, if we're being honest, my guy, you don't really have any clout to chase even back then. You definitely don't have any now. So I don't understand why you could even accuse anybody of being a clout chaser. But then you banned him and immediately ran away and hid like a coward. And then you took down your live stream because it made you look bad. You're sitting here blasting Nintendo because he doesn't want to sit here and debate you. Guess what? You challenged someone to a debate and then ran away and hid.
Don't ever, I would say this, don't ever believe that there's anybody that, once again, if you're talking about Nintendo, or if you're talking about whatever, and you have strong opinions, and that person refuses to talk to somebody, another content creator, about it, that's fraudulent behavior. You already know that they're scared. They're like,
so then you literally just described yourself, because you literally challenged someone to a debate and then ran away and hid. So that means you are fraudulent. You have fraudulent behavior.
We saw it, like I said, Banana Dude. We saw it with lots of people. They're too.
We saw it with you. Why don't you ever throw yourself in there? Oh, because that would expose you to your audience because you yourself is a fraud. Don't worry. I've already proved that you're a fraud countless times. If you ever wonder why you're a fraud player, let's just go watch my videos. They prove that you are a fraud.
Too scared to talk to somebody because they'll lose their gripped audience. They don't want to stay. Like I said, we all saw what happened, guys, when me and Nintendo Prime. We all saw what happened in that debate. A lot of the bigger content creators that talk all day, they don't want that to happen to them. Now, once again, we debated a small content creator, so it's not.
I mean, it wouldn't happen to them because I doubt they would sit here and take two people on at once. You've already proven that you can't hold your own by yourself in a debate. You need someone else to leech information off of. You've already proven that. You did terrible against Omniarch. And you tried. The thing was, you were fishing for information, but Omniarch didn't fall for it. He didn't give you anything to go off of because you didn't watch his video. You came so unprepared to that one.
Not really gonna hurt them as much, but that type of debate where you get absolutely obliterated, if you're a big content creator, that's gonna hurt you more than a small content creator. So if you're a big content creator and your whole thing is.
The funny thing is he keeps moving the goalposts. First it was like, oh, they don't want to come because they'll get obliterated. And then when I sat here, and I admit it, I didn't do that well in that debate. I didn't come that prepared. You're just lucky you had Prime there, Player Essence, because me and you wouldn't have even made it past the first damn topic.
Is grift. If you get obliterated with facts, you're even.
You guys didn't obliterate. The thing is, neither of you guys obliterated anybody with facts. I just didn't know how to articulate what I was saying. The thing was, I was actually correct and you guys were the ones that were wrong. If we're being honest, if we go back on it. But you guys are so focused on damage controlling, you can't see the reason. I was correct when it came to the Japanese sales. You guys weren't.
You're going to lose your grifter fan base. You might even lose that. So that's the reason why they don't want to do it, because they're scared. I mean, one of them even said that. They said, oh, I don't want to get caught.
Well, the thing is, why would anybody want to debate somebody who doesn't even know what the word grifter actually means? Because the thing is, you are perfectly fine with your homies like beat 'em ups, Dreamcast guy. You are perfectly fine with RGT all being grifters. But when it comes to everybody else, oh no, that's a big no-no.
Gotcha and gotchas. It's like, yeah, you don't want to get caught in gotchas because you're a lying fraud. You know what I'm saying? That's why you don't want to get. I'm never scared of getting caught in gotchas. That never runs across my brain. Like, oh,
is that why you ran away and hid from DBZ Nation, that you challenged to a debate? We all know he would have got you in a gotcha. But the thing is, we will never find out because you ran away after challenging him and hid like a coward.
I'm going to get caught in gotchas. You know why? Because I don't do weirdo fake news, outrage, lying, and BS on my channel.
No, you just sit here and remove context from the facts, and you're so disingenuous, you never tell the reasons why certain things happen. You never are open and honest about why the Japanese sales are so good. And then you sit here and want to throw out the reason why the PS5 sold so well, that it got a discount, but you never want to sit here and talk about how the Switch 2 got a discount, why that's selling so well.
You might not like what I say. You can call me every name in the book, but I don't be lying on what I cover. And if I'm wrong, I say that I'm wrong, you know?
Oh, you're bullshit. You don't say that you're wrong. But no, you may not lie. Saying you lie might be a stretch and a harsh word to say, but you definitely are disingenuous. You do take the context out of the facts. So you do spread propaganda.
So I think that's the thing, though. But like, if you're scared of getting caught with gotchas, you're a liar and you're a fraud. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I know,
like you are, like how you, well, not the liar part, but you definitely are a fraud. You would have got your ass caught in gotchas. That's why on Twitter, you ran away and hid from me. Every time I threw criticism at you, instead of facing it like a man, you ran away and hid like a coward. Because you knew you would have gotten destroyed.
you know, Nintendo Prime, you know, he doesn't like my debate style or whatever the case is. And he said like, oh, well, you know, I'm trying to get people in gotchas. You're damn right I'm trying to get people in gotchas. Because there's too many damn lies. We got to stop acting like people ain't lying out here for clout and for money. They are.
Okay. You know, some people do lie, but guess what? You're disingenuous, and you technically are lying too, actually. When it comes to Nintendo, calling him a grifter and a Nintendo hater. Actually, I don't know if you call him a Nintendo hater, but calling him a grifter, you have no idea if he's a grifter or not. You don't even know what the actual definition of a grifter is. So you're lying on Nintendo's name, and you're trying to clout chase on his good name. So you're no different.
Plain and simple. A gotcha is not trying to get you in a gotcha. So, yo, I'm calling you out on being a liar. You are lying. I am trying to, that literally, that's like how debate is. It's like, if you think you got somebody on something, you get them on something.
Gotcha. That's why you ran away and hid from somebody in a debate. We are glad to know that the reason why you ran away and hid like a coward is because you didn't want to get exposed for the fraud that you are. Glad to know this.
They can talk their way out of it and show you the proof or evidence, then it's no problem. It's like a court case or something, right? That's how a debate's supposed to be. So anybody who's scared of gotchas is a fraud. It's just plain and simple. You're just a straight up fraud if you're scared of gotcha moments, you know? Let's see. Deported with the $2 donut says, I voted for OJ in the category Boogie 29881. Boogie 29881?
Are they trying to say that you're going to fall off as hard as Boogie? The thing was, he was never at Boogie's level, nor is he ever going to be at his level. Are you kidding me? Trying to sit here and put Player Essence and Boogie side by side. Come on here. That is not fair to Boogie.
Like, what, bro? What do you mean Boogie 29881? That's crazy.
Exactly.
That's crazy. I mean, yo, Boogie used to be the real deal. So,
yes, he did.
So yeah, moved to Zimbabwe to get away from the dominant Switch 2 markets. Yo, what's up, Mr. Pereira? Welcome to the stream, man. I appreciate that. Come prepared, and you don't. Exactly. I never worried. I have never in any debate that I've went into. I haven't won everyone, but I have never worried about gotchas because I'm not a lying fraud in my.
Okay, but why did you run away and hide from someone you challenged to a debate? Why didn't you stand your ground like a man? Because you were afraid of getting exposed for the fraud that you are. I've already exposed you for a fraud.
Videos. I'll debate anybody on my views with Steam Deck, with my views on Nintendo, with my views on whatever.
Except for DBZ Nation. You won't debate him even though you challenged him to a debate.
I don't have to sit here and try to cover up and lie and do all this type of nonsense like these guys and be scared. These guys are a bunch of sissies. Like I said, fake tough guys, fake gamers. They're gameless. They don't even play nothing, bro. A lot of these guys, I'm telling you, man, we got to stop arguing with little indie gamers and stuff. A lot of these.
Okay, if you just play indie gamers, they're still a gamer. I don't think you know what an actual gamer is.
These guys are PC gaminites just sitting here playing Slay the Spire.
So if you strictly play on PC, that doesn't make you a gamer? Pretty certain that's not true there.
Company of War, all the freedom.
Unlike you, I don't believe in gatekeeping gaming from certain people. Maybe you do.
Play Fortnite. A lot of these guys aren't even real gamers. They're just sitting here playing these little indie games.
Even if all you play is Fortnite, if all you play is indie games, guess what? You're still a gamer.
All day, and they want to be part of the conversation. that little bro wants to be part of the conversation. That's what a lot of these guys are. You look at their list, they ain't even playing nothing.
My guy, you literally have little man syndrome. You have little bro. There's nothing wrong with indie gamers.
Little indie Gabenite. Like, we got to stop giving these people credibility. You know what I'm saying? Like, a lot of these guys don't even play games like that. So they're part of.
Okay, well, people can say you play too many kiddie games, so you're not. Your opinion, you're not a part of the conversation for games either.
That statistic that says that barely anybody buys more than 1 or 2 games a year. A lot of these guys that run their mouth are part of that statistic. They're just buying little indie games. They're not playing the best games of the year. They don't care. They just want to be part of the conversation.
Well, that makes them part of the conversation because they're gamers. You said they're not real gamers.
So we got to stop giving them any type of clout, bro.
Then why do you constantly always talk about them? I mean, you're the one that acts like you have so much clout to give. Oh, bro. Bro Tendo Shillington just donated $25. Thank you so much. Good morning, ABS. I am all for healthy competition. I think people forget that there is no true safe haven in gaming at the moment, only a least worst experience. I don't see a lot of creators just enjoying the hobby anymore. Well, unfortunately, the hobby is very expensive, and when it comes to player essence like this, rent is severely due for them. But since you sat here in super chat, what song do you want to hear there, bro Tendo? Let me know. We got the regular theme song. We got the one about Harmon, Newcomb Nintendo, Horror Hellfire, Player Essence, Desire, the one about Switch Addiction, the one about Game Boy Classic, and the one about Zoo from Flipping the Switch. Which one do you want, man?
So yeah. Yep, people out here being loud and wrong. Think they're gonna check them for it. I know, seriously, bro. Yeah, y'all know, like the ball and gun gamers are starting to talk too. It's like, sit your Arc Raider self down. All you play is Call of Duty, Arc Raiders, GTA. Sit down.
Okay, if all you play are those games, congratulations. Guess what, guys? You're still gamers. The only ones I might not consider gamers are mobile gamers. I'm just joking. Maybe a little bit. I don't know. I am not a huge fan of mobile gaming. All right. You want the theme song? Gotcha. Let's see here. There you go.
You sit down. Stop talking so damn much. Like, you ain't even playing other stuff. You ain't even playing what people are thinking. Why do you have an opinion? Like, just enjoy your ball and gun. Enjoy your NBA 2K, your Madden, your FIFA, your FC. So damn much. Like,
I mean, we could say the same thing about you. Can you stop talking so much? Can you just go play your games and be happy? Many people could say the same about you.
Are you playing Expedition 33? Are you playing Donkey Kong Bonanza? Are you playing Hades? Are you playing Silk Song? If you're not, then shut up. If you ain't playing a number of these games, then be quiet. Stop always.
You don't need to play all those games and stay quiet. You can speak out against them. You can watch gameplay of those games and see if they're worth it or not. It's not hard to figure out.
Trying to get into every conversation. Ball and gun gamers are annoying, bro. They are annoying. Like I said, Gabenites, ball and gun gamers. Top of the list, bro.
Man, he's going after PC people. He's going after the sports gamers, man. Oh, man. And you're going after the mobile people. Man, you just hit the trifecta right there.
Top of the list. Let's see here. Well, Arc Raiders is hype. Arc Raiders is good, but if all you're playing is Arc Raiders, or if all you're playing is ball and gun games, I need you to stop talking so much. If all you're playing is ball and gun, so
well, I mean, a lot of people could say if all you play is Nintendo games, you could probably stop talking as much too. But even if Nintendo people only play Nintendo games, I still consider them gamers. I consider everybody a part of the conversation. Now, if you play absolutely no games at all, then yeah, I guess you really aren't a part of the conversation.
Arc Raiders, NBA 2K, Madden. If you're just balling, like, well, you only got a gun or you got a ball, one of the two, ball and gun. Black Hokage said it best. If you're not playing what's even out there in terms of the best games of the year, please lower the temperature. Stop trying to insert yourself into every conversation. If you're a Gabenite.
Well, how about this, Player Essence? When the moment you stop damage controlling, how about all the people that want to run around damage controlling? If that's all you do, maybe you should just calm down before you can actually enter the conversation.
That's sitting there playing indie games all day.
There's nothing wrong with indie games.
Inserting yourself into every conversation, you know? That's all I'm trying to say.
I mean, you can go and make them, but it's not like you're man enough to do that.
Let's see here. Don't forget the PC Tinkerbells. I mean, like, I think Gabonites and PC Tinkerbells, they're like the same thing. Like hardcore Gabonites.
Oh, you hear that PC? You hear that, Omega Chase? He's calling you a PC Tinkerbell now.
You know, and Tinkerbells, they're like the same, Shaw X. Like, there's a lot of crossovers. Sometimes they have inroads fighting, but for the most part, Gabonites and Tinkerbells, they're the same thing, you know? Like, they're the same thing, bro. Yo, thank you for the 5. I appreciate that. Combo breaks. Let's go. Big love to Shaw X. 34 on the board. You guys know what time it is. Overclock, 30-minute extension. Let's go.
I would have edited that out.
Overclock Buster!
Can't believe I forgot to edit that out.
Let's see here. Did it an indie game win Game of the Year? I mean, sure, if you want to count Clair Obscur as a real indie game.
No, I don't consider Clair Obscur an indie game. That's a AA game. Even before it won Indie Game of the Year, we were all saying it was a AA game.
I mean, it ain't really, but I mean, I guess kind of. But what I'm saying is that these guys, they're not even playing stuff like Clair Obscur. They're playing like Slay the Spire and things like that, bro. And like they want to get into conversations about Game of the Year. Or they're ball and gun gamers. Like I said, all they're playing is something with a gun or a ball in it, and they want to insert themselves into conversations when they're not even playing a lot of the best stuff.
Well, it's finally we finally got to the end. Well, if they're playing just because they didn't play DK Bonanza doesn't mean they're not playing the best stuff. The thing is, you could play a lot of the games, not play DK Bonanza, and guess what? DK Bonanza should not have been in Game of the Year. That was literally a participation nomination. You just have to accept that. All right, now we're going to get into the next video from Player Essence. There's actually quite a bit from Player Essence. He was on a roll this week, guys. All righty. I'm going to use that as a thumbnail. It's going to be a perfect thumbnail.
Other videos were titled Concert Dying, Switch 2's flopping, shaking my head. Yeah. It was a lot of clickbait nonsense, but I think we all expect that now at this point, you know. So I think, what's that idiot Nintendo was like, oh, it's selling Wii U levels, bro. Wii U never sold anywhere near as good as Switch 2. Let's stop the cap.
See, this is how we know he doesn't watch the videos. He gets triggered over a thumbnail and a title, or he's just getting fake information from one of his elite ninjas. Nintendo never said that the total sales were on the Wii U. Come on. He is saying that the sales for the month of November are worse than what the Wii U was, which is true. And he shows facts to back it up.
Switch 2.
And also when it comes to consoles, I don't think consoles are really dying. There will always be PC and console as long as console can make something cheaper than what a PC is. If they can make a unit cheaper than a PC, then a console will always be there. But the moment that the consoles are the same price as a PC or they're more expensive than a PC, then the consoles are going to die.
Just beat out the Wii U's total lifetime sales in Japan. It's just factually, like with the actual numbers beating out 6 months versus 5 years. So nothing's selling Wii U levels. That's just idiot.
The month of November, you fucking idiot. That is what he is talking about. He's not the only one. We all have been. Many Nintendo influencers have been saying the exact same thing. Nintendo Prime talked about the sales in the month of November. Are you calling him an idiot and a grifter and all that? How about RGT85? He's doing the same thing. We've all been saying the same thing. Maybe you should actually do research for once.
That's just idiotic nonsense. So like I said, there's going to be a lot of clickbait and people lying and stuff for views, which we know, which is very unfortunate. I
mean, it's not a lie and it's not clickbait. It's factual. In the month of November, the Switch 2 did not sell that well. None of the systems sold that well, but it's worse for the Switch 2.
The funniest thing about YouTube is that I used to look forward to seeing people's views and people's thoughts on stuff on YouTube. And now at this point, YouTube is so unreliable with information. It's like, I don't want to watch anybody. I don't feel like watching anybody. I don't feel like listening to anything anymore because YouTubers are morally corrupt and bankrupt at this point, you know?
I don't believe him for a second. I'm pretty positive he watches our videos. His ego can't handle it. Okay, the only reason why he knows how well that Nintendo is doing is because he sees it. He's just jealous that he isn't up at that level.
You know, like they're just lying, clickbait, drivel, nonsense. People sitting there trying to explain why they're going to use Miyamoto in thumbnails just because it literally literally admitting that it's because of clicks, because people see Miyamoto and click.
That's how everybody does a thumbnail. You're telling me you don't create a certain thumbnail to get clicks? That's how thumbnails work. Same thing with titles. Literally, the most important thing when it comes to a video is the thumbnail and the title. Then it's content, then it's audio. Those are the most important things in that order. And if someone wants to use Miyamoto, who cares? I like to use Mario because I find it funny. And usually it has something to do with it. Mario represents Nintendo.
You know, even though he has nothing to do with whatever they're talking about, like it's a Pokemon or something like that. Like, so it's just morally corrupt to the
Doesn't Miyamoto represent Nintendo?
point to where it's terrible. Let's see, consoles are dead. Been hearing that since the early 2000s. Yeah, I need to notice.
I mean, consoles aren't dead. They're still here. Literally, the PS5 sold 80 million units. The Switch one's coming off over 156 million. I mean, the consoles are still here.
Season Xenoblade 2 with Adobo Fast, with some Adobo Fast. Would make Season Switch 2 version to play. Yeah, we'll see what they do next year on that one. People chasing clicks for dollars. That's pretty much what it is, and it's very sad. Which, once again,
You do the same thing. You upload content to try to get views. You are disingenuous with your content. You are no different than everybody else.
like I get it. You're trying to make, you're trying to make as much as possible. You don't know how long it's gonna last, but like I said, it's getting to the point now to where people are just outright like clickbaiting and lying, like ridiculous.
I mean, literally, some of your homies do the exact same thing. Literally, Nintendo Prime dressed up as the clickbait king for Halloween. There's a reason why. I remember that video about the whole Switch 2 boycott. And at the very end, he was like, oh, because there really wasn't one. We all remember that. That was straight clickbait. It was funny on his part. I'll give him that one. It was funny. I was not happy towards the end. I was pissed. You made me go through all that shit. And then come to find out this was all fake.
Well, there's definitely worse examples than him, at least.
Oh, you notice someone, they always love to call out Dreamcast Guy, and he always has the damage control for him because he's a homie. Dreamcast Guy, according to your definition as a grifter, you know what? We have pretty much come to the senses now that the definition of what they like to use for grifter is somebody who does not believe what they're saying, who twists information to chase views and engagement. And that is exactly what Dreamcast Guy does. That is exactly what Nintendo Prime does. And that is exactly what RGT85 does. But you never want to sit here and hold them out, do you? Same thing with Woods for Beat 'em Ups. We can't forget that.
That I know of. Let's see. I've been in a block spree since Cope Arc began. Yeah. They were sure quiet when Switch 2 sales. Well, after five stages of grief, that is. Well, they were never quiet before, and they were always like, "Oh, we'll see." But once again, based off the estimates that Paul Gale has, the Switch 2 actually did better. It's actually one of its better months since it released. So,
and I wonder why. Does that have something to do with Nintendo or Japan getting such a cheap unit? Does it have something to do with dropping the bundle by 50 and then dropping the console itself by 50? Does that anything have that to do with player essence?
I think that overall, if you're looking at the Japanese sales, I think that's kind of a tale to look at, was that because the Japanese sales are doing really good right now.
And why are they doing so well? Why is it so hard for you to actually say the reason why the Japanese sales are doing so well?
Selling upwards of 200,000 to 190,000 factually per a week. So yeah.
Congratulations, they get a very cheap unit. Of course it would be selling well. It's priced accordingly there.
Let's see here. Dreamcast Guy is too hyperbolic. Okay, too hyperbolic. Yeah, I haven't been watching the videos lately, so so yeah.
Of course you haven't. But even if you had been watching his videos, it's not like you would hold him accountable. You always damage control for him. Well, that's the second part. I think this is the last part. If I remember correctly, he actually gets triggered in this one. Oh yeah, I'm gonna use that as a thumbnail too.
You're on the same boat as as all the hater channels. You've been doing they've been doing a lot longer than them. Just complete opposite spectrum. Keep hyping, bro. When it comes to the hater channels, I mean, like, the thing about the difference with that is I do what I like because I think it's fun, and
No, you don't. You do what you have to do to get views. That's why you do a bunch of damage controlling videos. That's why you said in your live stream, you did a video about Expedition 33. You complained how the views weren't doing good. And you're like, well, you know what? I just won't do videos like that anymore. I'll just keep them to the live stream. So you don't do videos that you like. If you did what you like, you wouldn't be getting any views worse than what you're getting now.
I play what I want because I think it's fun. Hater channels are doing it because they're doing it to make money. So there's a difference between me and them. I'm not doing it because
we're all doing it to make money. Every one of us that is monetized, we all do content to make money. Doesn't mean we don't believe in what we're saying.
of money. I'm not doing it because of that. I'm doing it because I love this, and I've been doing it for a very long time. So people that are usually haters is because they know.
That's irrelevant. It doesn't matter how long you've been doing it. You just labeled anybody that doesn't say what you want them to say as a hater. You labeled us all as Nintendo haters and Nintendo grifters. You were labeling me as a clout chaser, but again, I mean, you don't got no clout to chase. It ain't like you're getting a lot more views than I am here. We're all in the same boat.
They know that they can elect a certain number of responses from people. They know that they can game the algorithm for money. That's what they're doing it. Like, who wants to talk about something they hate all day? Well, grifters and haters do because they can make money. They can be profitable.
Well, that's how you get change to happen. You can ask anybody throughout any type of situation, any type of genre. When you have to speak out against something that is wrong, it means that we don't like what's going on. It means that we hate what's going on. But that's how you make change. Not talking about it doesn't change anything. We're trying to actually make real change happen.
Profitable from it. So I think that the fundamental difference is not, I don't think it's.
Oh, we got Switch After Dark with a $5 super chat. Thank you so much, man. Literally not doing anything I do for money and never will. Well, that's why I rephrased what I said there, Switch After Dark, saying that if you are monetized, you're not monetized. That said, not everyone is in my circumstance, so get that bag. Exactly. Go get that bag. Switch After Dark. What song do you want? We got the theme song. We got the one about Harmon, Nuke on Nintendo, Horror Hellfire, Player Essence, Desire, Switch Addiction, Game Boy Classic, or you. Which song do you want?
The same side of the coin. I think it's a completely different thing. I'm doing this because I love it. I'm doing this because I think it's great. I'm doing this because it's something that I've always wanted to do. Haters did not sign up. Like, nobody signed up to YouTube to say, I'm going to be a hater. Like, I mean, some people do, but most of the time you do gaming because you think it's fun. But then you see like what you can make. Some people get.
We all do what we think is fun. What are you talking about? I do videos where I sit here and talk about stuff that I like. Many of us that do this type of content sit here and talk about stuff that we like too, but we also talk about the negatives.
Blinded by the money. They're like, oh man, I got a lot of traction on that.
Alrighty, Switch After Dark wants Birdman.
Video where I'm hating something, you know, so they keep on doing it because they have no shame or no morals, you know. So I think that's really the gist of it overall. It's a big difference in my opinion.
No, not really a big difference. You're in the same boat just like the rest of us. You do stuff to make money also. That's why you do so many damage control videos. That's why you were complaining when it came to the Expedition 33 video you did that didn't do so well. And you even said on your live stream, oh, I'll just keep it to the live stream. I won't make a video like that because it's not getting that many views. If you just did videos on whatever you want to do, you wouldn't care about the actual views on them. I do videos that I know it's not going to do that well. Whenever I do the songs on people, I know they're not going to do as well as my other videos. I still do them because I enjoy them. Even though after next week, I'm taking a break.
I get you can profit off of being positive too. That's my point. It's not even about profiting off of being positive. It's that I talk about things that I like. I talk about negative things and I talk about, I'm normal. This is just normal for me. You know what I'm saying? Like,
it doesn't matter. You still do stuff to get money. You still do stuff to get views. That's why you do so many damage control videos all the damn time. You're not going to sit here and tell me that you woke up saying, oh yeah, I want a damage control so I can get views. Come on here.
I talk about negative things too. I can profit off of being negative. We profit off of being positive. It's not about that, bro. We talk about the good and the bad here. We don't just only talk about good. We talk about both.
Usually when you talk about the bad, it's usually a backhanded one. Like when you did with the whole Pokapia thing being on a game key card. You hid that at the very end of a video that was titled about the PlayStation Japanese Showcase. That's literally what you did. So you can sit here and pretend that you're like, oh yeah, I talk about the negative. Also, you hide it in videos that are generally positive or have not anything to do with what you're complaining about. So stop the cap.
Talk about it being normal. So that's the difference. The difference is I'm doing this because this is what I love to do, not because, oh, I'm positive, so I'm profiting off of that. Like, you see what I'm saying? Some of these people are being completely up.
My guy, you do far more Nintendo content because that's what gets you the money. We all know that you prefer to do RPG stuff. Because when you do RPG content, I actually think that it's really good content. But when you double down and focus on Nintendo content, you can see the damage control in it. You can see it's not that good.
Obtuse and crazy. They don't think like this normally. And if they do, they need a mental institution. You know what I'm saying? Like, most gamers don't think like this. Like, if you're always acting crazy about something, about gaming, it's not that big of a deal. Like, it really isn't, you know? So for me,
it's how you get change to happen. You keep saying, oh, well, speak with your wall. Speaking with your wall doesn't always work anymore, especially when the average consumer doesn't know what's going on.
I'm doing what I do because I love to do it, not because, oh, I'm profiting because I'm positive. Bro, I was doing this for free. I'm always how I is.
We all were doing it for free. I was doing it for free for 6 months. Nintendo was doing it for free for a long time. Every person that does like the negative hating content like you like to claim, we all did it for free at one point.
We talk about good, we talk about bad, but I'm going to talk about stuff that I like. I ain't going to sit here and talk about a bunch of stuff that I don't like. There's no point. Who does that? Only crazy people do that. Sitting there and talking about what you don't like all day. Why would you do that? Why would you waste your time? Oh, because you can profit off of it.
Why would you waste your time damage controlling? Oh, because you could profit off of it. That's why.
Who likes to sit there and talk about stuff that they don't like? Unless you're, like I said, you're miserable. Miserable people. I'm not miserable. I like to talk about stuff that I like. I like gay. That's what most people do.
I mean, you sound like you're miserable right now that he compared you to us. We could tell you are not happy about that. I'm surprised you ain't freaking out on him. Probably because you're sick. He is sick in this video.
99.9% of people like to talk about stuff that they like. You know, that's most people.
I will agree. But not all those people like to talk about damage controlling. Not all those people like to dedicate videos to damage controlling for Pokemon Legends ZA or Pokapia. Because you had to do, actually, I don't think it was you. It was Switch Force that criticized Nintendo and then immediately did a video on, oh, they didn't lie. Yeah, come on. Not everybody wants to do damage controlling or should do it, but that's where your guys' views are.
People, most people, you know? So for me, it's about just being normal. It's not about one way or another. These people that are crazy haters, they're doing it because it gets them publicity, because it gets them money. It's not because that's how they like to be. It's because they just literally are doing this for money. If there was no money involved, they wouldn't be doing this. Guarantee you. Guarantee you they.
And if there was no money in it, you wouldn't be doing the videos that you're doing right now. It don't matter if you were doing them for free before. You got bills to pay. Your rent is due. That's why you focus on damage controlling so much.
Wouldn't be doing this because none of them were doing it back when they first became YouTubers. All these guys shifted when the algorithm became a good thing for them to do that.
No, many of us were doing this before the algorithm shifted. It just all happened so damn quickly.
But they could, all this stuff that people.
And I don't even think the algorithm really was switching, to be honest. Okay. The thing is, your guys, you like to blame it on the algorithm. No, it's you. Okay. All the Nintendo influencers like you, Nintendo Prime, even Switch Force, your guys' views tanked because you guys damaged the community. You helped beat 'em ups destroy the Nintendo community. Well, maybe not destroy. You guys helped damage it with that fake direct leak BS. And instead of doing the right thing, standing up for them, you ran away and hid like a coward. Some people did sit there and hold beat 'em ups accountable for what he did, but you didn't do that. That's why your views tanked. You guys gave the Nintendo community false hope during a time that was very depressing. You guys gave them something to look forward to, and then come to find out it was a huge lie. Beat 'em ups exposed each and every one of you guys because you guys are always trying to act like, oh, we're a fact-based news channel, but you didn't even verify your source. You never reached out to beat 'em ups to verify what he's saying was true. You ran with it.
People are being negative about, you could have been like that a decade ago. You could have been like that 5 or 6 years ago. Why weren't you like that? They all switched up when the algorithm switched up. So I never switched up my style. I never switched up my flow. I never switched up everything. Everything's always been OJ from the beginning. Now, yeah, I've taken different paths in terms of.
Okay, I've seen your content before. You were definitely focused more when it came to the RPG stuff. You doubled down on the news stuff because you wanted to copy Nintendo Prime. You are literally Nintendo Prime with attitude and sass. That's what you are.
Of how to get there, but if you go back, the soul and the essence of how I do my stuff, it's the same as it was.
Patrick Murphy, actually angry. Angry has a point. Thank you very much.
The people that have been here, I know Jackson's been here for a hot minute. Party Man's been here for a hot minute. How has it changed? I've been me the whole time. A lot of these guys have been chameleons, you know? They weren't like this five.
I mean, you said before that you used to talk bad about the Wii U, saying it was going to be a failure. Pretty much what a lot of us are doing right now. And then you were saying it with the Switch 1. And then when the Switch 1 started doing well, you switched sides. I'm pretty certain you have made it seem like that's what you did.
5 years ago, I was exactly how I was 5 years ago. How about 10 years ago? I was exactly how I was 10 years ago. Look at the content back then. I was still doing news videos, still talking about Nintendo, still talking about RPGs. I'm the real.
I mean, if you go back on a lot of your videos, you were titling them more about RPG stuff. Now you're titling it more about Nintendo because that's what gets you views. I think you love talking about RPG stuff. That's the stuff I do believe you on. But when it comes to Nintendo stuff, no, I think you do that for a paycheck.
Realest person on this platform. Everybody else switched it up when they can make more money. I didn't switch up a damn thing. I've always been me, you know?
Well, that's why if you go back and look at your titles, you know, yeah, you're pretty much just looking at the title. That's why it was more of RPG focused and now it's more Nintendo focused.
That's the main difference between. So don't listen, I ain't trying to be mean, but don't compare me to these weirdos, bro. Go back and look at their content. They weren't doing the same thing they were doing back then. These haters.
I love how just a person made a simple comment, called his ass out, and he is all triggered. He is all up in his fifis over it.
Look at my content. I was doing the same thing. I didn't switch up nothing. That's the difference. I'm realistic about it. I'm real. They're not. They're fake.
You know, I've heard some rumors about you that you did not always do Nintendo news type stuff. Just saying, I have some sources that claim that you never did that kind of stuff before. So just saying out there, okay? And if you go back and look at your titles on your videos, I could easily believe those people that told me that. I am really starting to think you just ripped off Nintendo Prime, copied him, added some attitude and sass to it. I'm really starting to believe that.
They're making up stuff because they know they can make money off of it. I don't switch up a damn thing. I got new stuff that I do, but I'm still me.
You damage control for views. You won't talk about what you enjoy because if you did, you would talk more about RPG stuff. You would dedicate videos to Expedition 33 or to RPGs type stuff, but you don't do that because you know it doesn't get you views. You even said on your live stream, you complained about the Expedition 33 video not doing so well, and you said you're just going to contain it to the live stream because you're not getting the views. And the thing is, you understand people don't come to your live stream to watch you talk about news. They want to see you act like this. This is the whole reason why. This is why your chat constantly eggs you on, constantly pokes and gets you going. This is what they come to see. They don't come to see you talk about the news.
Go back. There's no cap in this one, guys. Go back and look at my content 5 years ago. Go back, look 10 years ago. It's the same thing. I just got more people watching that a little bit. That's it. So don't compare me to these guys.
No, I think it's very fair to compare. You're no different than us. You try to act like you're better than us or you're different than us. You're not. You do stuff to get views. It's okay. All the stuff I do to get views also to make money, but it's still my honest opinion. Okay. And how you know that it's my honest opinion? I do videos that I know that are not going to do that well, but I still do them.
Don't compare me to them.
Oh, I'll continue to compare you. I'm going to start doing it. I know that it triggers you now.
Dudes hate hearing anything positive about Switch 2. They'll guilt you into sharing guilt you out of sharing your enjoyment. Yeah.
That's not true. I talk about positive stuff all the time. I sit here and highlighted I enjoyed Metroid Prime 4. I enjoyed Age of Imprisonment. Now, of course, I talked about the negatives in the game because there were negatives. When you do a game review, it's very important. You have to talk about the positives and the negatives. If all you do is talk about the positives and ignore the negatives, you're going to come off as biased. Same thing if all you do is talk about negatives and never say a single positive about the game. You're going to come off as biased. When it comes to a game review, you should be as non-biased as you possibly can.
Yeah, Nintendo's a damn liar. Switch 2 sold work and it did it. And Wii U, there's never been a month where Wii U
November sales were worse than the Wii U. That is a factual thing you need to accept.
outsold.
He's not the only one saying it. All of us are saying it. Even Nintendo Prime is saying it. He talked about the sales in November, that it was like the worst in many years. So did RGT. So how can you say Nintendo's a liar, but you're not going to hold that same energy towards your homies?
Outsold Switch 2. That's crazy. Especially in Japan. It's already outsold. In Japan, the Switch 2 is already outsold the entirety of the Wii U. If you compare the lifetime to date sales numbers of the Wii U in Japan compared to the Switch 2 has literally outsold it the entirety.
And I wonder why that is. Are you going to sit here and be honest? I would love for you to be honest just once why the Switch 2 is doing so well in Japan. I would love for you to sit there and tell your audience just one time.
So anybody trying to say that it's sold as bad as Wii U at this point, that's insane. That's a stupid thing to say.
That PlayStation gamer, you said, or just admit you're being biased, angry vigilante. It was bad for everyone. What are you talking about? This is a growing ass man doing this I don't know what DSAD is. What are you talking about there, PlayStation gamer? Are you telling Player Essence to just admit that he's being biased?
We saw
I try not to be biased. I can't remove 100% biasness. It's almost impossible, but I try very hard not to be biased.
numbers. Dude's a liar. He's a fraud.
No, he's not. Maybe you should actually watch his video. Maybe you'll learn something.
5 years ago, he wasn't Nintendo was not making content like he makes now. And he just saw.
That's irrelevant. I didn't have a channel 5 years ago, but even when I first started this channel, I was doing content, but I wasn't more hyper focusing on Nintendo stuff. I sat here, did a video before the Switch 2 was announced about the Donkey Kong Country Returns game being a ripoff for $60.
The algorithm changed, so then he switched it up. Dude's a fake and a fraud.
No, he wasn't. 5 years ago, this BS crap wasn't going on. He finally woke up to the bullshit that was going on with Nintendo at the same time I was, the same time we all did. It had nothing to do with the algorithm, and it became popular to do. The reason why me and Nintendo and Omniarch are here is because you refuse to do your damn job. If you would have done your responsibility and stood up for the Nintendo community, we wouldn't be here right now. But you guys created a void, and it had to be filled. That's why you guys are losing relevance, while people like Omniarch and Nintendo are gaining relevance.
And a liar. That's why he won't debate nobody else, because he knows that he'd get absolutely destroyed. That's why he won't debate Prime. That's why he won't debate me. That's why he runs like a little baby, scared from everybody.
Is that why you ran from DBZ Nation? I mean, you can blast other people for refusing to debate you, but Nintendo didn't run. He just turned down your offer because you weren't worth his time. You literally challenged another content creator on your live stream to a debate. And then when you realized that you couldn't stand your own against him with the topics he wanted to, you ran away and hid. You banned him and hid like a coward. And then you took down the damn live stream because you knew it made you look bad.
Because he knows good and well that he's a liar. I mean, I'd run like a baby too if I lie like that to keep.
I mean, is that why you ran away from DBZ Nation? Because you're a liar? Well, we all know you're a fraud, but is that the reason why?
His little stupid audience that he has.
I mean, his audience is a lot bigger than yours. Just saying.
He ain't getting the same views that he used to get, though.
Neither are you. After you damaged the Nintendo community, your views tanked. He is getting more views than what you were getting before. He only has a fraction of what your subscriber count is, and he's still getting vastly more views than you are ever going to get. So you sitting here, you haven't even recovered from a dying channel. You're feeling yourself a little too much calling out someone else for not getting as many views before when they're getting more than you are.
Yeah, not saying I agree with the hater channels. They're really pushing the doom and gloom hard. Some say they're right. Some say they're right, but I don't agree with them. Just saying you both make money, and that's fine. That's about all we have in common. Then, if that's the case, that's about all we have in common. But it ain't the same thing.
It's exactly the same thing. You do videos that you don't really want to do to get views. So do we. But guess what? Even when you're damage controlling, you may actually believe what you're saying. But you're no different than us, because if you truly wanted to do what you want to do, make videos on, you would talk more about RPG stuff. But the reason why you focus more of your videos around Nintendo is because that's what gets you views.
Even if it is true, something people don't want to see due to their bitter reality, positivity is healthier than negativity. Yeah. So screen attending, I'm tired of hearing that bum too. Y'all need to stop bringing his name up. Dude's a crusty bum.
Stop talking about him. They're only bringing him up because you keep talking. And again, you have no room to call anybody crusty. Okay, you're wearing a hat to cover it up, but with that crusty ass hairline of yours, you have the audacity to throw crusty at anybody. You need to sit here and find yourself a new barber that knows how to line up a hairline properly.
Switch 2 in November, tell the exact same as Switch 1 in November 2017. It seems bad because it's been crushing records left and right. So normal great sales seem bad by comparison. Yeah, it sold just fine. Like I said, it already.
Yes, the Switch 2 is selling fine because of the discount. But that's where you won't sit here and be honest. You have no problem throwing out that PS5 got a very aggressive price cut. I agreed that the PS5 only sold well during that Black Friday time because of the price cut. Most of us are actually saying that. But the thing is, you will never hold the same energy towards Nintendo. I'm pretty positive when February comes around and you do your little video on the sales data, you're going to talk about how well the Switch 2 sold, but you're not going to add no context. We all know damn well you're not going to sit here and mention that the Switch 2 is selling so well because of their discount in Japan, and we know damn well you ain't going to sit here and talk about the reason why the Switch 2 has such an amazing holiday sale was because they had 2 price cuts. If I was a betting man, I would wager a bet that you are not going to do that. But why would I? I have a reasonable expectation you're not going to do that. If you're not willing to talk about the sales in Japan, the real reason why it's selling, we damn know you're not going to do it for the holiday sales for the Switch 2 here in America.
Outsold the entirety of the freaking Wii U in Japan, so it's selling good. It's going to continue selling good.
I mean, that's completely irrelevant. That's not what the topic is about. The topic is about the month of November for the holiday sales. You know damn well you're being disingenuous. And the sales in Japan have nothing to do with the holiday sales here in America.
It's not going to kill every single record every single month, but it's still going to sell really good. And I never said that it was going to sell record breaking every single day, every single month.
No, but your actions were leading us to believe that. You were literally, the way you were hyping up the system, your actions, so I don't get called out for slander, your actions made it seem like it was going to sell very well during the holiday. You said many times, just wait until the holiday, just give it time. That's what you said over and over again.
It's going to outsell everything. I never said that. I just said it's going to sell good, and it is going to sell good, and it's continued to sell.
In that debate with Omniarch, you got after him for not mentioning that with the Pokemon sales about the holiday coming up. You literally did that. So my guy, we all had a reasonable expectation for many of you guys to think that the Switch 2 was going to dominate during the holiday. The way you guys were hyping up, maybe you guys didn't say the actual words. Don't want to get called out for slander again, but maybe you got, like I said, maybe you didn't say the actual words, but you literally were hyping up the system to lead us to believe that.
Sell good. So, I mean, you can let people lie to you if you want, but we see the sales numbers in Japan.
Well, Omega Chase, again, how many Switch 2 were scalpers? To be honest, I don't think there is anybody scalping the unit anymore. There's no reason to. You can literally walk down to a store and go buy it right now. It's not like we have a shortage of them. There might still be scalpers in Japan. Maybe it still might be hard to find there, but here in America, we don't really have a scalper issue in America. So, in the beginning, I do think that we did have a scalper problem in the very beginning. But even like Nintendo said, they really weren't making that much money on them. So it wasn't really worth scalping because Nintendo price is so damn high.
We see the 203,000, we see the 190,000, like we see it. So we see the MPD sales, we see all that. So there ain't really nothing else to say.
You can be open and honest and talk about how it didn't do that well during November. That's what everybody wants you to. This is why you get called out and you get compared to us, because you're not honest.
Snow Hawkthorn, what's up, man? I'm playing, I was playing Metro Prime 4, and now I'm gonna move on to Trails in the Sky. This player and others can be critical of Nintendo. These grifters can't even give credit to objective stats like sales data. Nope, they can't. They gotta preface it by saying, oh, well, there's some type of this or there's some type of that. It's crazy.
You do the same thing. You haven't even once been honest about why the Switch 2 has sold so well in Japan. You have no room to talk.
But that's like I said, that's why they don't do debates, man. That's how you know that somebody's a fraud. If somebody says all this stuff about something, it doesn't matter what it is, but they're too scared to even talk to somebody else that has an opposing viewpoint, that's how you know that they're a fraud, that they're doing it, they're grifting.
Okay, so we know that you're a fraud and you were grifting when it came to DBZ Nation. You ran away and hid from him. You were too scared to debate him. So you're a fraud, just like you said. Glad you can admit that finally. Do you feel better now?
That's how you know it's a grift and they're just saying it for money. You should as a content creator, you should never be scared or afraid to talk to someone about video games. Now, if you don't...
Agreed. Go man up and go do your debate that you challenged someone to with DBZ Nation. Why don't you man up and face the criticism from me? Why did you have to ban me on Twitter? It wasn't like I was out of line. I was throwing criticism at you. You kept saying, hey, where are all these videos? And I kept throwing it right back at you because you were refusing to talk about certain Nintendo stuff because you were too scared. It didn't fit your narrative. You ran away and hid.
I don't want to talk to someone about touchy subjects like politics or like, religion or things like that.
Those
I
two.
can understand
Don't need
that.
to talk about that.
But why are you scared
too.
to talk about video games? Like, it's just video games. It ain't anything like that. And you got a lot of people that are too scared to talk to somebody else about video games. That's how.
Yeah, like you with DBZ Nation, who you challenged. Now, I do agree with them when it comes to the politics and religion. Now, I ain't going to do no debates on those. I've had people comment in my comment section asking me certain things, wanting me to do videos on stuff that's like politics or stuff that's religion or stuff that they really want my opinion. I'm like, oh, no, I don't do that kind of stuff. That's not going to happen.
How you know that they're a fraud? Right there. That's fraudulent right there. So.
Just like you. I'm glad that you could finally admit that you're a fraud.
But yeah, too scared to talk to somebody about video games? That's crazy. That's because you're a liar. That's really what it comes down to. You don't want to be made to look stupid. Listen, if somebody's a big grifter that gets a lot of views and they see a video of you getting...
Oh, now he's moving the goalpost. So he's like, oh, if you're a grifter with a big views, first it was just a content creator. Now it's if you're a grifter that gets a lot of views. The only reason why he wants to debate Nintendo is so he can clout chase on Nintendo's good name. That's all it is.
Absolutely destroyed in a debate on all of your views and all your viewpoints. They're never going to take you seriously. They might even stop watching your channel or turn against you. So it's not in it's not in a grifter's,
No, that is not true. You can lose a debate because you didn't come prepared to it. As long as what you're saying is true, people are going to watch it and agree with them. Okay, I didn't sit here like... The funny thing is, Nukem Nintendo tried to say because I lost the debate against Player Essence and Nintendo Prime that my channel fell off. When I literally went from having 200 subscribers, when I did that debate, I had 200 subscribers. Now I'm over 3,600. in less than 6 months, I might add. I don't think I fell off like Nuki Nintendo tries to say that I did. And also, when I told him that, he was like, "Oh, well, Nintendo is getting way more views than you are. So yeah, you fell off because you're not doing as well as him." I was never doing as well as Nintendo. Okay. And I'm not trying to take anything away from Nintendo, but for your videos to go viral, yes, you have to make good content. There is hard work involved, but there is a little bit of luck involved to push you to that way. There are people that make amazing content. I mean, flat out amazing. And they have such a hard time getting over 2,000 views. Okay, so to make your video go viral, where you're getting hundreds of thousands to, I think you got almost 500,000 views, there is a little bit of luck involved in there to get you to that point. If we're all being honest, so not taking nothing away from him, but still.
Best interest to debate somebody that's smarter than them or knows more about the sales numbers than them or isn't a grifter. Like that's not in your best interest, because you're gonna completely invalidate your videos, invalidate your future videos. So a lot of grifters don't like to talk.
Is that why you didn't want to debate DBZ Nation? Is that why you ran away and hid? I mean, we would all love to know why you ran away and hid like a coward.
Talk to other people. They don't want to do debates. They don't want to do that stuff because it's going to invalidate what they say going forward. So that's really the truth of the matter, you know? Wonder why November sucked for gaming sales though? I mean, it didn't suck. It wasn't as good as it was before in the past, you know?
It has sucked. You can't say, oh, not like it hasn't sucked. No, it sucked. They were down 40% for the PS5, and they were down, I believe, 20-something% for Nintendo. Xbox was down almost 70%, if I remember correctly. C-Stars Piplo, sent a $2 super chat. Thank you so much. Thank you for being a member. I swear, clout chasing is a dangerous thing. Oh, it's very true. So which song do you want there, C-Stars Piplup? We got the regular theme song, the one about Harmon Smith, Nukem Nintendo, Horror Hellfire, Player Essence, Desire, Switch Addiction, Game Bird Classic, and Flipping the Switch. Which one do you want, man?
When it comes down to it, just wasn't as good as some other one. But if you want to know the real reason why that the gaming sales were down across the board in November, it's because inflation has been a lot, and the fact that Microsoft is selling.
The inflation thing is bullshit. The Switch 2 became the fastest selling console. The inflation hasn't changed since launch. So you're full of shit, Player Essence. It is not because of inflation. How was it any different in June and July than it is now? How can you say it's because of inflation?
Less and less systems. Like, they're selling terrible overall when it comes.
Yes, we all know that Xbox is selling extremely terrible. Okay, C-Stars Peplup wants the Player Essence theme song. Now, when it comes to Xbox not selling so well, I don't feel bad for them. I really don't. This is Xbox doing. They put themselves in that position. You know, but the reason why, because some people have asked me, why don't I talk more about Xbox, is because there's not really anything new going on with Xbox. And honestly, I don't even really think that Xbox is honestly a part of the conversation. If we can be honest, are they really a part of the conversation anymore? And we got a super chat from Switch, or not a super chat, a message from Switch After Dark. Yeah, it takes a lot of time to make an actual video. That's why I do the live stream too. Only been able to do 5 videos since October. Oh, hey man, your videos are still good, man. Everybody knows Switch After Dark, he does really good reviews.
Comes down to it. So we usually have 3 systems that are in the race between, you know, back in 1995 and all, like, you know, it would be Sega, it'd be PlayStation, it'd be Nintendo. So there'd at least be 3 systems, plus other systems as well, like Jaguar or whatever else that was out back in the day, and Wonder Swan. There's other systems too, but like 3DO or whatever, right?
Well, you got that one Playground something, Play Next, or whatever it's called, that system. That could be considered another one. And we don't need 3 systems and all that. Come on. The market can't handle 3 systems.
Right, so there'd be a number of people that were contributing towards the sales. But the problem is that Microsoft has completely came in here and destroyed that, right? PC gaming's gotten bigger and bigger. Mobile, tablet gaming's gotten bigger and bigger.
So, okay, see, unlike him, I consider PC gaming and console gaming, I consider them part of the same. Okay, we're all in the gaming community. We're all gamers. We all help each other out. The only thing is, he's so focused on a piece of plastic that he wants to discredit PC. I include them all together.
So those don't count. Like, they don't count towards console sales. So since Microsoft Xbox sales are down in the gutter at this point. That's really why the sales were so much lower this month than in previous months. And if it wasn't for Sony discounting the system by $100, the sales would have been even worse.
Agreed. Just like if Nintendo would have charged full price in Japan, the sales wouldn't have been as high for the Switch 2. If they would have never or the retailers would have never dropped the bundle by $50, it would have never sold so well. If the other place did not drop the Switch 2 unit by $50 down to $400, it wouldn't have sold that well. Why can't you say the same thing for the Switch 2 though? You have no problem throwing out the PS5, but you won't ever say the reason for the Switch 2.
You know, so the fact that Sony even discounted the sales, or like let's just say the Nintendo Switch 2 wasn't out. If Sony didn't discount the sales, or if the Switch 2 didn't launch, the sales would have been so bad, it would have been absolutely atrocious overall. So yeah, like it'll recover though, like it always does. Like the game industry has highs and lows, so it'll recover as more big games come out. Wolverine.
To be honest, I don't even, at the rate that everything's going, yes, and inflation does play some part in it, but I'm not really counting it towards the whole gaming part. But with rent getting higher, with electricity getting higher, with groceries getting more expensive, I don't think a big game is going to save it. What we need right now is better pricing. We need the systems to be priced down. We need the games to be priced down also. That's what's going to save the gaming industry. And also, we need to teach these developers to learn how to properly budget their damn games. They're using too high of budgets, expecting way too high of returns. They need to be more realistic. Oh, it's Desire. How's it going, man?
Pokemon Gen 10, new 3D Mario game, all that type of stuff. So yeah, I just don't fall for that. Grifters and people online trying to sap fun out of enjoyment of gaming for profits, whack and pathetic. I agree. November was missing Xbox sales and prices are higher than ever. Even Switch 1 prices have increased. Switch 2 is $150 more than Switch 1 when it launched. Sony ran the $100 to $150 deals, which affected Switch 2. I think it did maybe a bit. I don't know how much it did though. I'll be honest. I don't know how much it.
Oh, I guarantee you it affected it quite a bit, because when you sat here looking at a PS5, it was pretty much the same price as a Switch 2. You look at the video games themselves. You go over to the Switch 2 case. They had 4 $80 games, okay? 4 $80 games, multiple $70 games, and not really anything lower than that. You go over the PS5 case. They had games ranging from like $30 to $70 and not a single $80 game. I do think that the price of the games has something to do with it also.
It did. But yeah, we'll see like in these next months. We'll see for December. We'll see. Seems like December is going pretty good so far. For Switch 2 sales, people are picking it up. So I think December is going to be okay. And I think January and February are going to be okay too. So we'll see.
When the sales come out in February for like November and December, like I said before, I think that is going to show that the Switch did do well. And we all know he's going to hype it up, but I am pretty positive that he's not going to be honest about it. He's not going to mention that the reason why the Switch 2 sold so well during that time was because of the discounts, even though he has no problem saying it for the PS5.
If Nintendo has to revise their forecast, or if they have to, drop the price, we'll see on that one. I mean, me personally, this is what I would do. Like if it has like the months are kind of struggling again, I would just put the price. To me, I think a price would be like $3.99 would be a great price, like $3.99, and I would even sweeten the deal. Like I'd say $3.99 with like a free digital download for like Mario Kart World. Like to me, that would just be the perfect price. Like and yes, you're probably.
I actually agree with them. This is one of the few times I will agree. They should drop the price down, include a free game, make it $3.99. I think that would be a hell of a value.
Gonna lose money on each unit because $3.99 that's not enough to cover what the Switch 2 can do. But like I said, if
it's enough to cover it. It may not be enough for what it costs, but it's enough that'll cover it, because they'll make it up on the back end with the software.
It's closer, they can get component costs down, which I don't think they can because RAM prices are going up. So if they can get it to $450 or $3.99 with the game in there, I think that'd be perfect going forward. But once again, I mean, obviously, if you're expecting $500 and you only get $3.99, like the increase in sales, I'm not sure if that covers everything, But I would probably
Oh, it will, because the thing is, they've already made their money back with Mario Kart World. How much that thing has sold, I guarantee you they made their money back. So giving it out for free, it's not really costing them anything at that point.
We say, like, if they can do that, that would be the better option to do. Or maybe $450 with Mario Kart. $450 with Mario Kart, $399 without Mario Kart. I think that would also be really good too. So 2 options.
I agree. That would actually be a good option. One of the few times you're ever going to hear me agree with him.
Either you get Mario
That's just because I forgot to edit it out.
Kart, $450 with Mario Kart, $399 without Mario Kart. I think that would also be good if they can get it to that too. That would be really good. But I know that'd be hard, you know, because like that's difficult. That's difficult to get there. But yeah, that's what I would do. If it keeps on being like where like, they don't hit their like forecast goal, right, or something, I think that'd probably be a good way to sweeten the deal a bit, you know. But like I said, yeah, we'll see with December. According to Paul Gale, like they pretty much sold about 1 million units already in December, so they should probably wrap up like almost get close to what they did last month, or maybe like another million on top of that, so like 2 million or whatever for the.
Well, of course, it doesn't surprise me if they've sold that many. Again, Japan gets one so cheap, and literally, here in the US, they did 2 different price drops: a price drop on the bundle and the price drop on the system. And we got another super chat from C Stars Piplup. I've said this before. Video games are not a luxury. I completely agree, man. What song do you want to hear there, C Stars Piplup? Let me know.
For the month sold in Japan. Japan's been doing really good in December. We've had 2 weeks of 190,000 units and 203,000 units. So that's, what is that? That is almost pretty much 400,000 units. About 400,000 units in 2 weeks in Japan. So not bad at all.
And why is that? Are you going to be open and honest about why it sold so well? No, you're not.
Yeah, the lagging economy's been lagging. More and more people are just, you know, like I said, playing other things. So it's one of those things to where they got to think, like, listen, the prices are higher than ever. Obviously, $70 games doesn't help. You know,
games have been $70 for a while. It's the $80 games that's the problem.
You know, there's a lot of things. And like I said, yeah, I mean, listen, I'd probably go with like 60.
Alrighty, you want Desire's theme song. Oh, what the hell? I'm sorry, Desire's theme song is not working. I don't know why. I have to redo it. You're gonna have to pick another one, C-Stars Pipple. I'm sorry about that.
You know, or I would have went like undercut like 65, maybe 64.99 for games. You know, I probably would have just went a little bit lower just because it's like, hey, look, instead of 70, just charge 65. That'll feel a lot better for a lot of people. So I probably would have went with 65, you know, 64.99, you know.
$70. I don't agree with $70 games, but if they're going to do $70 games, they need to do it for like the top like the top exclusives, the top tier franchises. They can't do it for everyone. All right, 1-2. You can't do it for every game, player essence.
For the games, that's what I would have went with.
I'm sorry, Desire.
Because it would just feel a lot better. It would, like, optics-wise, it looks a lot better than 70 for the games, you know. So yeah, but we'll see. We will see how it works out.
Alrighty, that video is over with for his one, and he has one more. That's gonna be a good thumbnail. Trapped in a plastic cage. I had the song way too high. Desire, I just think it's funny how the prick who defended $80 for Mario Kart World now wants it to be a free pack in-game. Oh, I completely agree. It is completely ridiculous that he wants that. So we got Hyper Cage. They should get to pick a game for free. I agree. Facts there for that's the C-Stars Piplup with the bundle. Yep. Wow, Divinity Sin 2 on sale for under $20 on the PS5. Should I buy it? I've never played any of the Divinity Sin games, but from what I've heard, it's an amazing one, so I think you should. Oh, but I agree, player Desire. With him defending the $80 games, it's completely ridiculous. Alright, I'm gonna let this song finish because it's too loud. I forgot to lower the volume on it. I need to fix this. Wait, the guy who oh wait, you already said that one. The truth gets lit. Hold on. I'm gonna let the song finish. There we go. Breaking down. Ugh. So how's everybody's morning going? Oh, hey, Desire, love your videos. I keep dying of laughter. Exactly. Desire's videos are funny. This song is great, man. Thank you so much, Awesome Boss. I actually got a new one coming out for Gara of the Rage. I did one on Gara. So let's hope that Gara likes it. Patrick Murphy, UEP. I don't know what UEP is.
He's out flipping switches and flipping the script. Calling out the heart when the truth gets skipped. If something's wrong, he won't tip his lips. He's the glitch in the system they can't eat.
It's going good. Oh, thank you. It's almost over.
He's the glitch in the system they can't eclipse.
All right, now we can play the next one.
I don't have time for people to watch this. Well, Metroid Prime 4 is correctively bankrupt. Like stupid, like Nintendo type video, like grifting. I don't have time to be watching useless, outdated videos of people just having personal vendettas against companies and weird.
Then why do you talk about it? If you don't have time to watch it, why do you sit here and talk about it then? And I don't remember Nintendo saying that Metroid Prime 4 was creatively bankrupt, did he? Switch After Dark. No bias, of course. Oh, I bet. There's Zoo, I bet.
Weird stuff like that. That stuff's a waste of time. I gotta watch stuff that once again is gonna make me feel better, or stuff that's going to, make me give me knowledge for work. So I cut out a lot of stuff. I used to watch a lot of different things. I don't watch none of that stuff no more because it's lame and it's corny, and it's been like that. And these people that make it are corny. So I see.
I mean, that's not nice. Why do you keep calling us all corny? You're in the same boat as the rest of us. Someone sat here and said that you're just like us. So are you calling yourself corny?
Just the videos exactly. You just got a flood of people talking about Switch 2 sales. It's bad. And it's selling just fine. It's like, it's stupid as hell. Like when we get Nintendo sales numbers in February, they're going to be like, oh, it's sold really good. It's one of the best selling systems.
Yes, but we're going to be honest. You're not going to be. You're not going to mention about the price drops. And guess what? It still didn't sell that well in November, no matter how much you want to pay it. November was the worst month in gaming since like 1995. That is a fact. You need to accept this.
It sold 15 million, or it sold however many million that it sold. And it's going to be on track for whatever they want to sell. Maybe they'll revise their forecast. Maybe they won't. I don't know. I don't care. It's selling good enough. So
if you didn't care, then why do you keep talking about it? Why, you don't have to do what your chat wants you to do. But like I said, this is why people come to your live stream to watch. They don't want to hear you talk about the news. They want to hear you talk like this. They want to hear you freak out. It just doesn't sound as good because you're sick.
Looking at clickbait everything, so.
We got the Pulse Legends. Why do you watch those videos? To hold the influencers accountable. Someone has to.
Like I said, it's lame. At this point, I'm kind of tired of it. Like, it was okay for like the first month or 2 months, but now we're getting it like all the time. And it's just like, I get everyone has their opinions and all that, but it's just, like I said, it's just lame. People are just doing it just so they can make money now. It ain't even about like if they care or not. They're just doing it.
It's just like with you. You only make most of those videos, especially when it comes to Nintendo, to make money. That's why your real passion is RPG. We all know it is. That's why whenever you do a video that is strictly on RPG, it doesn't do that well, and then you complain on your live stream about it.
Doing it just so they can make money, So,
just like you.
Hello, I was listening to a content creator, was watching until he said Mario Kart World was on a key card, roasted that lame on his comments. Yeah, like it's not even accurate anymore,
Okay. I'm going to give that guy the benefit of the doubt. That's what the other guy said, because I have no idea what he's talking about. But whoever says that Mario Kart World is on a game key card, that is not true. That is fully on the cartridge. That is very common information. So he did not hear it from me.
It's not even accurate anymore. Like Mario Kart World is on a key card. Like they're just, a lot of people, they don't even know what they're talking about. They just say anything these days,
Just like you.
It's just, like I said, lame.
With you just love to be disingenuous. You love to remove context from the facts, and that's why you always spread propaganda around.
I think Doc Trey made it. Doc Trey made a what's it called?
Doc Trey is a fraud. He literally made a video blasting Sonic Racing Crossroads for doing a Black Friday deal. Now, I think it is completely fair that you can call out Sonic Racing Crossroads for dropping over 50% for a Black Friday deal with it being that new of a game. I think that's completely fair. But I even called him out on his live stream saying, hey, how come you haven't done a video about the Switch 2 going down in price? And he was like, oh, well, the Switch 2 didn't go down in price. It was the bundle. You just got a free game, but refuses to do a video when it comes to Nintendo. Okay, Dog Trey is literally a fraud.
Made a video on it talking about like Switch 2 has high C-level villains, so not even A-listers or anything, just a bunch of bums. And it's really, that's the truth, man. It's just weird. Like I said, goofy ass videos, weirdos.
Hey, I am perfectly okay with people saying I'm in my villain arc. I am perfectly okay with that.
Clickbaiting. Don't know what's worse, Nintendo or his fans. They're both corny and lame. I saw a video.
Come on, Player Essence. You talk more about Nintendo than anybody else. We all know you're his biggest fan.
Someone saying Super Mario Galaxy Remaster was sold for 100. Yeah. I come back here because your channel has integrity, even when we disagree. Respectful, and I appreciate what you do for the community. I appreciate that, man.
My guy, he does not. What community? You definitely ain't talking about the Nintendo community here. Come on. This man doesn't have integrity like you're trying to make it out to be.
But yeah, I think we're gonna wrap it up here, guys. My throat, I've pretty much had about all I can take at this point. I'm not sure how much longer I can go.
Oh, thank God.
So I want to say thank you to
tired
everybody
of it.
that came out. Please, if you can do me a solid, we got 100 people here.
Okay, you guys remember in the other video where he was like, "Oh, I'm not doing this to make money or to get views. I'm different than them." He literally is begging everybody to go watch this video now. Now, there's nothing wrong with that, but you can't sit here and try to act like you're different than us for making certain content to get views, even though we agree with it, by the way. I agree with all the content I make. Nintendo agrees with what he makes, at least I'm assuming that he does. I have never spoken with Nintendo, but I'm going to go out on a hunch and say that he does. But he is literally saying that he's different than us. He doesn't do this to get views, and now he's going to beg people to go get views. This is why I left this part in.
I need all 100 of you guys. Seriously, like, this is like no cap, guys. This would help me out. I need all of 100 of you guys to go watch and go drop a comment on my channel, on my most recent video. Go watch the video.
Man, baking looks good for you, my guy. I understand that rent is due right now. And usually I would never do this, but you have to sit here, try to blast us, try to make us seem like we're cowards and everything, that we're all wrong, that we're just hating. And then you try to act like you're so much different than us, and then you go begging for views.
Drop a comment. Now, here's the thing. If you can't watch the video, you don't got time, at least go leave a like. Go there, hit the like button on this stream, then check out that video there. Click over there, hit the like, drop a comment on there. That would really do me a solid if you guys could help me out there with that. So, I mean, if we can get, like I said, like 100 of you guys to all go over there, drop a comment, because there's only 30.
Man, next he's about to become like DSP, where he's going to start begging for super chats. Just you wait.
32 comments on that video. If you guys can all watch it, it talks about the next Legend of Zelda coming sooner than expected. If you guys can all go drop a comment, drop a like, that would really help me out. You guys watched my video yesterday, so thank you guys for watching that video. But if you guys could check out my most recent video, I'd really, really appreciate it.
I'm going to take a wild guess that the people that are willing to come to your live stream are probably your most diehard fans. So they probably have already watched the video, if we're being honest.
Everybody who's watching, seriously, like, that would do me like a super, super, super solid and make my throat feel better. I got to over here guilt trip you guys. Make my throat feel better if you guys go over there. But honestly,
man, see, we all know why your throat hurts so much. When you go hang out with Daddy Nintendo, we all understand.
It would make me feel better if you guys go over and check out my video. That I did spend some nice time on it. So doing some talking about Zelda and all that. So if you guys can help me out there, that'd be super, 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 super cool. I'd really appreciate that.
My guy, if you're going to literally ask people, pay attention, stop focusing on your phone. If you're going to beg for views, at least look at them. Look at the damn camera, my guy. You can't sit here and be this serious. You're asking for people to go watch your views and you're literally checking your phone at the same damn time. You do understand we see you, right? This is not good. You need to learn. You need to watch DSP. If you're going to use DSP tactics, you really need to watch him so you understand how to use them effectively. Because somehow, clueless to me, that man, it actually works with him, how he's always begging for stuff. But you're going to sit here and try to do the same thing, and you're not even going to look at your audience. That is not good.
If you guys did that, all right, man. So check out my vid. Go drop a comment, drop a like and a comment on there, and watch it if you can in the background. That'd be super cool. So if 100 of you guys could go over there and do that, it'd be great if I had like 100 something comments on there. Hate to beg for it, but you know, I don't beg for stuff, but I'll beg for this one. So
you begged before. Come on. I've literally reacted to it. This is not the first time that you begged. Come on. You begged Daddy Nintendo. Stop the cap.
if you guys can go over there, drop a comment, drop a like, it's free. You don't got to pay nothing. It's free. It's super, super, super free. So, man, that'd be super, super cool. I'd really, really appreciate that. All right, guys.
All right, so that's it for him. But with me, you guys will never have to worry about me doing that. Okay, I don't beg for the stuff. If you guys want to go watch it, go watch it. Hey, I will sit here and say, hey, if you want to get my content, make sure you subscribe, stuff like that. But I will never beg. I enjoy each and every one of you guys just for showing up. Now we get good old Princess Force.
Gosh
Come
darn
on,
it. Everyone wants to talk game key cards because people hate game key cards. Well, new
course we
news
do.
came out today that should be a really big shift, all right? It was reported by numerous sources that there is a new type of Switch 2 card and that this could make big shockwaves for next year. All right,
This is something they should have had at launch. Literally doing a 16 and a 32 gig cartridge, they should have had this crap at launch. Now, if the rumors are true, it's only saving like $5, but that's still better than nothing. It's still better than the damn game key card, for crying out loud.
Right now we know that Nintendo Switch 2 game cards, not keys, but cartridges, like the actual thing that Nintendo uses for DK Bonanza, Metroid Prime 4, those are
Yes, we understand the difference between a key and a game key card. Okay, Switch Force, get on with it already. We ain't got all damn day.
64 gigabyte cartridges. Now, 64 gigabytes is a problem on the big side and on the small side, which is, in my opinion, kind of funny because it's just like they can't figure it out, right? It's too big for smaller games and smaller companies and smaller publishers to want to pay for a 64 gigabyte card.
It has nothing to do with it being too damn big. Come on. The reason why people are going with the game key cards is to save money. Literally look at 2K when it comes to WWE. At least I believe it's that game. They were so damn cheap, they weren't even willing to use a game key card. They literally did a code in the box. That's how cheap they are.
But then it's too small for bigger games to actually be there. So when you're looking at a big title,
Okay, let's not act like there's a bunch of big games that are above the 64 gig limit. What do we got? Like 3 on the Switch 2? Come on, let's not pretend like there's these so many massive games that are over 64 gigs here, Switch Force. Come on. Most of the games are way smaller than 64 gigs.
like Assassin's Creed Shadows, they're like, dude, we can't fit this on a 64 gig card. We need a bigger card size. We can't make it work. But then you've got smaller titles like indie gems that are like, we would put it physically. We don't want to pay for a 64 gigabyte card because they're expensive. And when you're a smaller developer,
Yes, they are expensive. And whose fault is that? That would be Nintendo's. They chose it.
a smaller publisher, you don't have the margins and the means to do this. You are kind of flying in a route that requires you to be very, very conscientious of how much money you're spending, and cartridges don't make sense. You sell it on the eShop, no cartridge. You sell it on a game key card, way cheaper. But multiple sources are saying that there is.
Now, I do think the different sizes are going to be good for the indie developers. Those I do think, because we already got confirmation that one is going to use it because of the smaller cartridge. So it is kind of a good thing.
Going to be 2 new smaller cards offered for Switch 2 next year. Now look, at first blush, this sounds amazing. Switch 2 getting 16 gig and 32 gig cards should open the floor.
It should.
For at least half the problem. Look, I would argue that it's actually on the bigger size that is causing all the kerfluffle, right? It's like, yes, it would be nice to have my Hades 2 on a cartridge.
And maybe it will. Now you're going to have to pay a little bit more because it's no way you're going to get $30 for a full physical cartridge. It's not going to happen. That I would honestly agree. When the cartridge itself costs like $22 the last time we checked for a $30 game, come on.
But Isn't it more about, like, Star Wars Outlaws is not on a cartridge. Resident Evil 9 Requiem is not on a cartridge. It feels like I don't own these bigger games that I'm so
Well, the bigger games, they're not going to, they could give you a cartridge that is like $2 more than a game key card, and they're still going to choose a game key card. I'm surprised they don't sit here and pull a 2K and go for a code in the box, if I'm being honest.
blitzed about coming to Switch 2, but then it's a game key card, and for some people that just completely ruins the fun. That completely drops a whole bunch of problems into the equation.
And I don't blame them. If you guys don't like game key cards, I'm not going to shame you guys into going to get them. I completely understand the principle behind those not doing game key cards.
These smaller cartridges are not affecting that half of the issue. They're affecting the smaller half, the indie developers, the smaller companies, the older games, things of that sort. And while that is good, is it actually good? Because here comes...
Yes, it's good for a lot of the indie developers. It's going to be good for Hollow Knight Silksong. Now, are you going to pay more than $20 for that physical game? Yes, you are. But most of us are perfectly understandable that the digital should be cheaper than the physical game. With the physical game, you're getting more than what you're going to get with the digital. So it's going to cost more. But what I'm worried about is when it comes to the major AAA games, we're going to see $60, $70 for the digital version. And then we're going to see $80, $90 for the physical version. That's what I'm worried is going to happen.
Comes the second half of today's developments. Supposedly, these smaller cards are going to be available in 2026, but because of increasing RAM prices, these cards will not be that much cheaper.
They're still going to be $5 cheaper. $5 is $5 here, Switchy. Okay? Instead of doing a $70 game key card, they can do a $75 then. Or they can just swallow the damn cost if we're being honest.
In which case, what are we doing? What are we even doing? This doesn't solve anything if these cartridges are smaller, but are roughly the same price, and different sources have said it's rumored to be like $3 or $4 less, which over the course of like 100,000 cards is a lot.
Well, the thing is, one thing you keep forgetting, Switch Force, is it's very good for the Nintendo community because Nintendo people do love indie games. I don't know if you realize this one. A lot of Nintendo people don't buy a Switch 2 for the third party. They did not buy the Switch 1 for the third party. So they bought the Switch 2 for the indie games and for the Nintendo games. The third party games are just a bonus. So why are you trying to act like this doesn't solve anything? It's going to solve something.
But is that enough to make a big difference? And then here's the kicker, the hammer. These smaller cartridges play these games in a slower form factor. No, you don't. And what company wants to release their game on a slower form factor if it's not even that much cheaper? This feels like a whole bunch of butt. It feels like a nothing burger in which it should be a really great solution to offer cheaper cartridges, but
it's going to be a partial solution. It's going to help out for the indie games. Now for the AAA games, no, they're too damn cheap.
Because the industry and because RAM prices and because cartridges in general, everything is going up.
Well, see, that's why they never should have done game key cards to begin with. That would have solved the whole problem. And here's another thing. They should have went with discs, like I keep saying.
In a screwed if you do, screwed if you don't situation, Nintendo can offer these smaller cartridges, but they run poorer, slower, and they're almost as much money. So if I'm indie dev A, I'm saying, dude, I'll just throw it on the eShop or a game key card. I'll get the speed that I want, and I won't have to pay as much.
Okay, a lot of these indie games, Switch Force, they're not demanding. Let's not pretend that these damn indie games are as demanding. Let's not look at Hades 2 or Hollow Knight Silksong and act like that is so much more demanding than Metroid Prime 4 Age of Imprisonment. Okay, you are doing a huge false comparison.
Money. So I feel like this is a step in the right direction, but at the same time that it's a step forward, it's exactly a step back. And it's really not moving the game key card needle. And I think
No, and none of us are going to act like it is. It's going to help out indie games, but we know that the major AAAs are not going to use them.
You should take away from this is that the game key card needle can't be moved. Now, I'm not apologizing for game key cards. I'm not trying to make adjustments.
Of course you wouldn't. Even though before, when the Switch 2 was launching, you were like, oh, if Nintendo did anything to us, you would be like, you would take them to task. But we love how you switched that one up. I did a video exposing you on it before.
Specification for game key cards. It does suck in some ways, but
It
to get
sucks
these
in
games
many
on
ways.
Switch 2, to have publishers both big and small able to put their games on this system, which I want. Look, I want games to come much more than I want cartridges. I want games here.
Of course, because you only care about console warring. You have other platforms. We all know you do. We know that you don't just exclusively play on Nintendo. With the amount of money you make, come on. You have other platforms. Stop the cap. If you care about the games, then you will be more than willing to play them on the other platforms. Stop acting like you want all the games to come to the Switch too, because that's what you want to play. No, you want to sit here and do it so you can console war because you make money when it comes to Nintendo. Stop the cap.
Much more than I want cartridges here, and everybody should probably feel the same way. Not trying to tell you how to feel, but in a way, like, dude.
Oh, great. It's DeJuan Davis. Oh, you missed me destroying your homie there, Player Essence. Angry Vigilante, I got a question. Do you care about games? Yes, I do. Because I do not care about games. I mean, doesn't surprise me, but why don't you care about games, DeJuan? Mr. Davis, why do you not care about the games? I do care about games. Because that's why I play games, because I enjoy them. So yes, of course I would care about them.
Dude, would you rather have the game or not have the game? Because that's your choice. Some of these games can't fit on a 64 gig card. Some of these games would not run fast enough on a smaller card. And then if they can't run fast enough on a smaller card, they probably were too big for the smaller card anyways. Also, the smaller cards aren't even that much of a savings, so what are we even doing here? What we're doing here is
they make enough of a savings to make a difference for the indie games. Okay, but it's not like they're charging indie games at $70, $80 here, okay? That's where the difference comes. Do I think that the AAA games are going to be using them? No, the AAA people are not going to use them.
we're going to have to accept game key cards. And I know that's not a fun thing to do.
No, we do not need to accept game key cards. Stop conditioning the community to accept this terrible damn thing. Grow up.
But I think in 2026, you are going to see a real exponential growth of Switch 2 titles. Not only from Nintendo themselves, but from third parties, from indies. Everybody wants to get on board. Right now, we're having the worst November for video game hardware in eons, in like 3 decades. Okay, sales are struggling. Companies are not making what they thought they'd make.
Because they're overpricing the stuff. That's why they're so down. Is that so hard to understand?
And prices of everything, including manufacturing.
DeJuan Davis, Angry Vigilante, because I am a grown man. No offense, man. Well, you said grown men. I think you mean grown man. No offense to you, but you a man? That's stretching something.
Chips, RAM, shipping, tariffs, it's all going up. Therefore, they're going to want to go to what is the hottest seller. And the hottest seller, well, it was the PS5 for this past month, but the Switch 2 is like the thing with the biggest beacon on the horizon, right?
No, it is not. It's not doing. The only reason why it's doing so well is because they did 2 price drops. Stop the cap. Let's not act like the Switch 2 hype is the strongest that it was as it was before. Come on. The hype has died down. The only reason why it's still selling well is because they did 2 different price drops, unless you're talking about Japan, because they priced it accordingly. There was no need to do a price drop there.
Glows the brightest, it burns the most beautifully because it is a platform that can supply some of the best games to ever release from Nintendo, and then a whole bunch of variety.
I mean, they have yet to release a bunch of games that are the best they've ever released. You are so full of shit if you think the lineup that we've gotten so far for the Switch 2 is the top tier of the line. Come on. Okay, DK Bonanza did not have enough quality content to justify its $70 price point. Metro Prime 4 is worth it at $60, but not at $70. Pokemon Legends ZA is literally shovelware acid flip swap. Stop the cap, man. The only game that is actually worth this price is Fast Fusion, which is $15, and the Age of Imprisonment game. I did love Age of Imprisonment.
When it comes to third party and indie, you do have access to the eShop, and you do have this game keycard solution that is allowing games to get to the Switch 2 that wouldn't previously get there.
Can you hear this, man? Allow the games to get to the Switch 2. Like a thing called digital doesn't freaking exist. Are you kidding me? Literally, is this the level of delusion or the level of conditioning you got to condition people to accept this? My God, man. Daddy Nintendo must love coming over, man, while we see what your hair color is It definitely, you did not choose to die that by choice. I promise you that one.
Or couldn't previously get there. So at the end of the day, the game keycard is a necessary evil, and that sucks to say.
Bullshit. Zoo, are you hearing this? Necessary evil, my ass. It is not a necessary evil. Again, this is conditioning at its finest, folks.
But as we're seeing here, even if Nintendo is able to release these 16 gig and 32 gig cartridges, first of all, that only benefits half of the game keycard problem audience, which is
That's still half them better than nothing, my guy. Be happy that the indie games. But you just want the AAA games because you want to sit here and be able to be like, oh, look at what my piece of plastic has. That's what you want to do.
is the indies and the smaller publishers. And then it looks like it might not even benefit them because you're getting a slower card and you're not saving that much money, in which case, what is the point? Now, there will be some indie devs and indie pubs that decide they want to support this cartridge physical medium fan base, and that's awesome. And I do think there's an audience for it. I do think they will sell, and there will be some titles that benefit greatly by actually being on the cartridge. But those games are going to be few and far between.
There are been a lot of indie games that have come out, so it's going to be more than a few and far between here. But you only care about the AAA. You don't care about the indie.
And those games are going to be smaller, more niche titles. They're not going to be your Resident Evil 9s. They're not going to be your major Tomb Raiders. They're not going to be the biggest games that are coming to Switch 2 and the ones that we...
Well, and that's Nintendo's. Well, if they choose to not get those smaller cartridges to save themselves money, then it will be on the publishers. I will sit here and agree with that. But Nintendo's the one that created the game key card problem. This lies on them too.
want the most on the Switch 2, those are going to be game key cards. And I'd love for it to be different. And I feel like if maybe the market was in a different place where they could get the cost down, where over time, like, hey, a 64 gig card is getting cheaper. Maybe even a 128 gig card is reasonable or feasible. It's just not. It feels like cartridges are going to be a roadblock to games coming to Switch 2. And you got to ask yourself, at the end of the day, is the game key card palatable enough to put these games on Switch 2?
No, it is not. And stop trying to condition everybody to accept these terrible game key cards. I see through it. Maybe not everybody does, but I see through your BS.
Or would you rather them not come at all? And I sure hope you pick the former rather than the latter, because the former leads to a little bit of frustration but a whole lot of gaming fun, and the latter...
My guy, you have other systems. You can play those games on other platforms. Stop acting like you care about the Switch 2. You're only acting like this because you want to be able to be like, look at my piece of plastic can do. That's all you're doing.
Leads to a developing situation that puts Nintendo back in the Wii U paradigm where they've got great first party and no third party support, and that feels terrible. We all saw how that did, we all saw where that led, and we saw the resurgence and the flip Nintendo's had. We don't want to...
Well, the Switch 1 did not have a whole lot of third-party support either, and it did just fine. People don't buy the Nintendo consoles for third-party. That's just a fact.
Stop that flip.
Let me rephrase that. Most people do not buy. There might be an outlier out there, but most people do not buy a Switch 2 for third-party. They bought it for the first-party Nintendo games.
We don't want to kill that vibe. Given the situation, given what's going on world economy wise, given how big games are getting and the caliber of games that we are getting on Switch 2, game key cards are here to stay. And hey, it's better than just a digital download. You do get a case, you do get a thing, you are able to transfer that license. There is a way to move that around. It's not as physical could be.
It's not physical at all. Trying to say it's not as physical can be is so disingenuous. It's a fake physical.
But necessary evil feels like the best way to describe it. And despite this development that seems good on the surface, there are so many drawbacks, it feels like this is not going to move the needle in my opinion at all. I'd love it to be wrong. Maybe they do get the prices way down. Maybe they are able at least to service that half that does make smaller games. But right now I see this as a nothing burger. And the game key card situation 2025 in just a few days will become the game key card situation of 20.
Well, of course, because people are going to focus on the negative when it comes down to it. You're not going to sit here and see, oh, the game key card or games are getting put on a real cartridge for the indies. Yeah, they're going to applaud them for it, but it's not going to overlook the game key card situation with the AAA people. And then we got Blast. Vid, sorry to burst your bubble, but discs are a terrible idea. What Nintendo should have done is let you download the games from the cart while having the whole game on the cart. That would actually be better than what they're doing now, Blast. But the discs work just fine for the PSP. You know, I never had a problem with them. They could make them Blu-ray.
2026.
All right, that is all. That is for Switch Force. Now, look at who we get. For the last one is Harmon Smith.
How?
Harmon, there's not many things that we can say. I forgot what I was going to say. Harmon, it don't take much to make you think things are funny. Come on. And yes, Xbox sales are down 70%. PS5 is down 40%, but I love how you're not putting Nintendo in there. They were down 20-something percent.
Over the past several weeks, we've been screamed at people like Nintendine, like Tripster on Twitter, like all of these weird fringe game journos that the Switch 2 is failing, it's underperforming, that no one cares about it, that Nintendo is only putting out B and C list franchises for the first year.
I mean, they are. Like, can we count them down? Yeah, you got Mario Kart World, which is an A-list game, but it definitely doesn't feel like it. Or it's an A-list franchise, but it doesn't feel like an A-list game. Then you got DK Bonanza. DK Bonanza is not really the top tier. Yes, it had one game that did extremely well, but most Donkey Kong games do not hit that level. Then you had Pokemon Legends EA. Yes, it hit that level, but that was a shovelware slop of a game. I don't care what anybody says. I will fight people on that. Legends EA was trash. Then you had Kirby Air Riders. That was definitely a B, like a C/B list class game. Okay. Then you had Age of Imprisonment. I loved Age of Imprisonment, but the thing is, that game is a spin-off of a niche genre. Blast. The problem with discs is the size and battery life. The Switch 2 already has terrible battery life, and that would be cut in half with a disk drive on the console. It's why Sony went away from UMDs. Well, also, the UMDs were a lot smaller than the cartridges, and the read speeds were a lot smaller too. But they could make them Blu-ray, which wouldn't be as bad. Now, with the battery life, it is a possibility. I'm just trying to solve the problem with the cost here.
You know, there were all these copes
But also, I'm more of a fan of discs over cartridges, if you can't tell either.
about the failure of the Nintendo Switch 2 and how it couldn't compete with the real video game consoles.
Well, I mean, it didn't compete over the holiday. During Black Friday, it got whooped, if we're being honest there, Harmy.
About how the Switch 2 wasn't competitive and how it was failing. And yet, in reality,
People were not saying it was failing, but it is a fact that this is the worst November for every console in the last 20 years. That is a fact. Sorry, that is a fact, Harmon. Are you not going to play?
what we've seen
There you
is
go.
a massive decline in Xbox and PlayStation sales. Not only is Nintendo Switch 2 setting sales records and being this huge cultural phenomenon
Oh, yeah. It set a sales record for the month of November. That's why it got whooped by PlayStation.
that everyone's talking about, that everyone's excited about, that everyone's looking forward to, Xbox and PlayStation sales are massively down. These consoles
So is the Nintendo Switch 2. Their sales are down too for the holiday, and this is their launch holiday. This is why it's worse for the Switch 2 than it is for the PS5 and the Xbox. Those systems are 5 years old. The Switch 2, this is their launch holiday. They should be dominating.
are on the way out. Nintendo has won the console war, and we're still in that early phase where everybody is just in denial about it. You know, people are ignoring people like Nagoshi and Harada jumping ship. You know, people are ignoring all these declines.
Who the hell is Nagoshi and Harada? Who the hell are they talking to jumping ship? I have no idea. Harmon, nobody's coping as seething. You're coping as seething because you're being disingenuous. You're not even adding the Switch 2 part in there. Did you seriously look online until you found an article that supported your narrative where it only talked about Xbox and PS5? Come on. Oh, C-Star Piplup got a $2 super chat. Thank you so much. Harmon is not hiding the fact he is a pariah. Yes, he is. Which song do you want there, C-Stars Piplup? You want the theme song? You want the one about Harmon, Nukem Nintendo, Player Essence, Switch Addiction, or Game Boy Classic? Which one?
PlayStation IPs. People are ignoring the failure of games like Ghost of Yotei and Assassin's Creed Shadows, like the
Harmon, Do you know how many okay, you want the Harmon song? Do you know literally how many units that Assassin's Creed Shadows has sold? Assassin's Creed Shadows units sold. Literally 4.3 million units across all platforms after 7 months. Okay? That's not including what's coming up with the Switch 2 or anything like that. 4.3 million units is not a failure. Now, the game wasn't absolutely amazing, but saying that 4.3 million units is a failure, that is not true. And then what was the other game that you said? I can't even remember. You said something about another game.
Endless examples we have of these massive places.
Oh, Ghost of Yotei. You say Ghost of Yotei, and I'm pretty certain that Ghost of Yotei is not a failure either. Ghost of Yotei units sold. Let's see. Is it a failure like the Nintendo likes to say? Ghost of Yotei sold 3.3 million copies in its first month. You have no idea what you're talking about, Harmon.
PlayStation and Xbox failures in order to create a fan fiction.
I understand, Blast, but we don't need to tell him that one.
Alternate reality that simply doesn't exist. The idea that Nintendo is perpetually failing. Currently, the narrative is kind of shifting to this idea that PC and mobile is dominant and that they're taking over. And
well, the PC and the mobile are dominant. If we're being honest, they're doing just fine. Even though I'm a little worried about what the Steam Machine's price going to be, but they're still dominant.
They're the biggest video game platforms on the market, and that simply isn't true. Anybody who has any interest in any kind of game whatsoever is going to own a Nintendo console. That's simply...
No, that is not true, Harmon. Not everybody wants to own a Nintendo console. That's why they're sitting on the shelves right now. People want to rush out and buy it like you're trying to make it seem like the hype is there. They will still be sold out. This is the holiday after all.
The reality of it is that Nintendo is becoming synonymous with video game console worldwide, that they are branching out into...
They've already been worldwide. Literally have already been like that. What are you talking about?
different entertainment avenues, and as a result of that, it is becoming harder and harder to downplay them. And honestly, this is a very interesting situation because I feel like nobody outside of this channel was talking about the decline of PlayStation and Xbox.
No, many people have talked about the decline of Xbox. Are you kidding me? Have you ever heard a Dreamcast guy? That's all he ever talks about, Harmon. Trying to say outside of your channel, nobody else is talking about the Xbox declining? I've talked about it. But the PS5 is fine. They sold over 80 million units, Harmon. They're not declining like that. Are you kidding me? They're most likely going to hit over 100 million units, especially when Grand Theft Auto 6 comes out. Are you kidding me?
You know, it feels like the rest of the industry is still trying to tell you that the PlayStation and Xbox brands are doing very well, that Grand Theft Auto 6 is going to save them, that there's going to be some glorious return to form, that there's going to be some huge, like...
Well, there's no glorious return to form for PlayStation. PlayStation is doing just fine. Xbox, on the other hand, is not, but I don't think Grand Theft Auto 6 is going to save Xbox, no. Even with Grand Theft Auto 6 coming out, Xbox is just too expensive.
Resurgence and popularity and relevancy, and in actuality, no. What's happened is that graphics have reached their peak in the PS3 era. That, you know,
No, PS4's graphics are way better than PS3. Just because your games on the Switch 1 look so similar to PS3 graphics doesn't mean that they reached their limit. What are you, Harmon? You're an idiot.
have achieved photorealism when it came to visuals, and as a result of that,
PS3 was not photorealism, you idiot.
there is no longer any real draw or appeal to PlayStation or Xbox because the entire...
Harmon, there are many third-party games that you cannot get on the Switch. So there is an appeal to Xbox, PS5, and PC. There is an appeal to all of them. For crying out loud, there are mobile games that look better than the Switch 2 games.
core concept of these brands was achieving photorealism and having good graphics.
Graphics. Can't even say it right, you freaking idiot. I know you did that on purpose.
as quickly as possible. You know, the entire narrative was that like these games were better and more realistic than the competition because they had realistic character models. And
Okay, graphics are important, but there is more than just graphics. You need story, you need gameplay. All of that is important, not just graphics or graphic. I can't even do it like he does it.
Deep involving storylines, you know. And
Yes, deep involving storylines are important. Okay, you need music, you need voice acting, you need a story, you need visuals. I think I said graphics. You need all of it. All of it is important, Harmon. You can't just have like one game with only one thing, okay? Even if a game has amazing gameplay, but the visuals are trash, the story is trash, all of it's trash, guess what? It don't matter how much fun that gameplay is. The game is not going to be that much fun. You need it all to make an amazing game.
and
And when I say amazing, I'm talking about like a masterpiece, okay? I'm not, obviously you can slack on one of those and the game will be fine.
what's happened is that strategy is old and played out. Like every game looks and plays the same, and as a result of that, the games that
No, it doesn't. Ghost of Tsushima or Ghost of Yote. I didn't play Ghost of Yote, but it looks like it plays so much different than Assassin's Creed Shadows. What the hell are you talking about?
look and play with that have their own identity, you know, games like Metroid Prime 4, games like Kirby Air Riders, games like Pokemon Legends ZA, you know, these games are becoming more and more appealing to people. It is becoming harder and harder for the industry to like just plug its ears and pretend that Pokemon is not a cultural icon.
It is a cultural icon, but guess what? That last Pokemon game is still shovelware slop. No one can change my mind on that one.
You know, it is becoming harder and harder for people to create this narrative.
I would agree with you that the draw of Xbox is Game Pass, though, Blast, but I don't know. At the price that they want Game Pass, I don't know if I can support that anymore.
That Nintendo is just like this massively controversial, unpopular brand. You know, it's becoming harder and harder to give game awards to slop like Expedition 33 or Astro.
That's why Expedition 33 swept the Game Awards. Yeah, so hard to give awards to games like that when it literally won mostly all those awards. This video came out after those awards, so you have no excuse, Harmon.
Bob, because you know one of the things that's on the back of every Nintendo fan's mind is that these are genres that have been prevalent on Nintendo consoles for decades and yet got no attention, got no critical acclaim, were not
because they're not a part of the conversation, Harmon. Stop dragging games that don't belong in the conversation.
talked about at all, were completely ignored. And then, you know, a mediocre PlayStation game comes along and suddenly it's like this huge, the biggest deal ever, you know, like we've seen this pattern happen like over and over and over again, you know, since PlayStation's inception, really. And now we're seeing the end result of that where, you know, the award shows are dying, game journals are irrelevant, nobody pays.
Nah, game journals are not irrelevant and the game awards are not dying. That's why you watch them. You say every year, oh, I'm not going to watch them. They're dying. And then you go and watch them. And then you have a little temper tantrum saying, oh, that's fucking bullshit because your game didn't win Game of the Year, Harmon. We all know you're going to watch it again next year. Even if Nintendo didn't even get a nominee, you would still watch it so you could throw a fit.
Pays attention to Metacritic scores while, you know, sales for Xbox and PlayStation are massively declining, and Nintendo fans are excitedly looking forward to the next Nintendo Direct and the next major Nintendo release.
We're all looking forward to the next Nintendo Direct. Even Nintendo haters are looking forward to the next Nintendo Direct because it's going to give them content.
Like, this is exactly how I foresaw it 10 years ago. Okay.
Oh, you're so full of shit. You did not foresee it.
This is exactly how I said it was going to happen. This is exactly how, you know, I called it the death of a thousand cuts, you know, because everyone was screaming about how Grand Theft Auto 5 sold like 200 million units and how it was the biggest game ever. And
it was one of the biggest games ever. It's not the biggest game ever. It's bigger than anything Nintendo's ever done.
It dawned on me then, like, how reliant the entire industry was on one game to sell Xbox and PlayStations, and then like everything else was just kind of like hangers on. You know, these games only were only selling just by being like associated with it, just so players had something to play in between Grand Theft Auto releases. And it's remarkable to me to see just how many.
I will admit, how long they have gone without making another Grand Theft Auto game, I do find that ridiculous. But when they got online play, I guess that can definitely hold people over.
People in the industry are just desperately trying to downplay this fact that the Switch 2 is massively successful, that PlayStation and Xbox.
Congratulations, the Switch 2 is massively successful. It became the fastest shipped console in history. Guess what? It also became the fastest holiday console at launch to get a discount. And it also has won the worst game of the year, Harmon. Don't forget to throw that one out there. That's very important.
Are failing with no hope of recovery, all the Xbox game closures, all the PlayStation woke releases, like everything they've done over the past 25 years has essentially cemented the fact that there is no real hope of recovery for these brands. And yet,
okay, I don't think when it comes to Xbox, I don't think that they're going to go away. I'm not like Dreamcast guy where I say they're cooked and destroyed. I think their games are going to do perfectly fine. I think they will continue to make games. But when it comes to the consoles, they clearly are making a profit on their consoles. And I think that when it comes down to it, Xbox doesn't need to actually sell consoles anymore. So if they continue to make them, they're going to be a lot like PC, where as long as they're selling for a profit, they're not failing. Because with Xbox, they're full third party. They don't need hardware to sell the software. It's not like it is with Nintendo. Nintendo has to sell hardware because their software is ingrained in it.
There is this stubborn refusal from the community to kind of acknowledge this, to understand that Nintendo won the console war, that Xbox and PlayStation have lost, and that
the console war's been over a long ass time, Harmon. And if anything, no, Nintendo didn't win the console war.
PlayStation and mobile are not going to compete with Nintendo the
PlayStation and mobile already are competing with Nintendo.
Same way that Xbox and PlayStation can be with them. They are honestly in completely different markets and honestly have no real overlap at all. Serious gamers are going to own Nintendo hardware and buy Nintendo games, while casual gamers, like people who play Zynga games and like play.
I don't know Zynga games. You know what? I've already admitted this. I got a Switch 2. I got a PS5 and I got my laptop. I am enjoying all three. And if the Steam machine comes out at a good price, I will buy the Steam machine and I will actually sell my PS5. But I have a hard feeling that it may not come at a good price.
Like Candy Crush, they're going to stick with PC and mobile. There's really.
Well, yes, people that love Candy Crush, I don't see them leaving mobile. There's no reason for them to leave mobile if that's what they like to play is Candy Crush.
Nothing all that complicated about this. Like the simple reality of the situation is that Nintendo has won. There's nothing you can do to downplay them, and right now we're currently in this phase where the entire gaming industry is doing everything they can to try and deny reality. Like
nobody is trying to deny reality, Harmon. Just because they don't glaze Nintendo the way you do doesn't mean they're denying reality.
Switch 2 has sold like 15 million units in the first 6 months.
I think he is using Grum's, that PlayStation gamer. I really do.
Which is, record setting for one thing. But another thing that people don't really like to accept is the fact that, the first year isn't over. The year doesn't end in the holiday season. It ends next year, when
they're talking about November. Okay. They are referring to Black Friday. Black Friday is I believe the busiest shopping day of the year. Okay. None of them are doing good.
When the console has had its full first year on the market.
And yes, I've already said where Nintendo is doing well this month. They did well they were down 24%. But they're going to continue to do good because they did 2 different price drops. Of course, they're going to keep selling well. No shit. And of course, they're going to sell well in Japan. It's actually priced accordingly there.
Again, that is something that a lot of people are writing off and ignoring right now. That's something that a lot of people are crying about and making excuses about and like trying to like downplay and ignore. Like I keep seeing people do this thing where they're just like, oh, there's nothing next year that I'm looking forward to, like as if Nintendo isn't in a position where they can just announce new games like
It doesn't matter if they're in the position or not. They haven't announced it yet. I am excited for the new Fire Emblem game next year. I'm a little excited for the Yoshi game. I love Yoshi, but I'm not thrilled over the art style. But so far, those are the only two games I'm excited for.
on the spot. Okay. Like they're going to have a new Nintendo Direct by February. And it's just, I'm so tired of people like sitting there and acting like everything that comes out just isn't very good or isn't remarkable or.
It's not. Kirby Air Riders was not good. Legends ZA was not good, Harmon. You're not going to change my mind.
Has no appeal or just is underwhelming or disappointing or what have you. Like the simple fact of the matter is that Nintendo has won the console war and the haters,
Come on,
the
get on with
Pretendos,
it.
are desperately doing everything they possibly can to ignore this fact.
Harmon, they're not ignoring nothing. That will be you. Well, guys, that will be it for today's stream. I am so glad each and every one of you guys showed up. Thank you so much. And I really hope you guys have a pleasant day, but I got to get going because me and my wife have a very important dental appointment to go to. So I hope that you guys have an amazing day.
I'm the angry vigilante here to fight the fight, breaking down the walls in the dead of night. I don't come for peace, I come for the storm. Fanboys melt quick when the truth gets warm. Solve content's high, I'm collecting those tears. Just got started, but I'm cutting through fears. I'm not here for brand deals, I'm not for sale. I expose your lies, rip off the veil. You can cry in the comments, but you won't survive. Like and subscribe if you feel that vibe. We're hot and salty tears, tearing down the walls. Fanboys falling fast, hear the vigilantes calls. No fake reviews, no corporate lies, just truth and fire burning in our eyes. Promise lost in Nintendo's dream, delusional faith blinded by the gleam. Defends every flaw like it's a sacred cause, but his blind devotion's just breaking laws. Player SS brings no honor or pride, throws family shade when he's running to hide. No integrity, just bitterness and spite, but the vigilante's here to set it right. We're hot and salty tears, tearing down the walls. Fanboys falling fast, hear the vigilante's calls. No fake reviews, no corporate lies, just truth and fire burning in our eyes. Cast guys, fake words can't hold the line. Sony fanboys smoke, but his reviews don't shine. Switch for shields, the corporate game, selling hype and spin while we call out the shame. Dark trays and Nintendo fanboys stuck on repeat, says the same old lines like a broken beat. Recycling words, no fresh insight, but we break through the noise and bring the fight. We're hot and salty tears, tearing down the walls. Fanboys falling fast, hear the vigilantes calls. No fake reviews, no corporate lies, just truth and fire burning in our eyes. If you're tired of fake, if you're done with the spin, join the fight, let the real talk begin. We're here for the truth, no need to hide, so make sure